Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Welcome into another edition of the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder, and out here I have William Telltale and Christiana, the lady in back. Welcome into the Will and Thunder Show. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And we'll understand we've got some news that we need to talk about, so why don't we slap right straight into the news tonight?
Sounds like a plan to me. I've got to get something off my chest, but we'll play our little news jingle first. That gets fun with Dan. All right. Anyway, today, of course, is Veterans Day. It's also National Metal Day, but I need to talk about something having to do with Veterans Day, and this also actually gets into the metal news type of thing. But basically, David Draymond of Disturbed really stuck his neck out there for the troops today, and I respect the hell out of him for it. I mean, he's an outspoken individual, and I agree with most of what the guy says. But basically, there's this website out there called Salon.com, and the idiot that runs it actually put on there, tweeted out something today saying that we should stop with holding our military people up as celebrities and worshiping them because they haven't done anything to protect freedom over the last 70 years. And David Draymond saw that, and he tweeted back, and he basically said, well, in defense of all those who have served over the last 70 years, let me be the first to say, fuck off. And
you know what?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know me, Will, pretty well, and you know I'm a huge supporter of Disturbed. I love the band, love their music, and I love their attitude, and this is one thing that makes me a big fan of theirs right there, because you know what? It doesn't matter your fan base and how many people you might lose because they might look at this website. You got to stand up for what's true and what's right here. You know what? My brother's a veteran. My grandfather's a veteran who stuck their neck out. My grandfather was in World War II. My brother was a part of Operation Provide Freedom and Operation, over there in Iraq and Turkey. These men are going over there to fight for our rights to do what we do tonight on this show. For the people to be able to write their blogs and do that, and for them to disrespect them, there is one thing having freedom of speech. There's another thing being an idiot with a platform.
Right. I mean, these people, and we've actually got one on the line listening right now. It's Sniper from 3D in Your Face. He's here to listen to Spade coming on the show here in a little bit, about 10:35. Just want to say what's up, Sniper, and happy Veterans Day, brother.
That's right, man. Thanks for your service, brother. We appreciate you giving us the right to do what we do right here and have a little fun every Tuesday night. Or, you know what, not just Tuesday nights, every day to live our life the way we live here, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, the guy comes out and he posts that drill, and he got lambasted by everybody. I even went on there and told him, if he doesn't think it's a freedom issue, that they're not fighting for freedom, why doesn't he go try to go to an ISIS-controlled zone over in Iraq and write his website from there?
Oh, exactly.
Right.
Well, on top of that, exactly. Just try and live 3 days without getting your head cut off, you jackleg.
Yeah, I mean they don't really like reporters over there. I guess he hasn't been paying attention to the news, but
well, yeah, I mean, think about all these other countries that block certain internet sites or don't allow. I mean, freaking North Korea. They can't even go on the internet. I don't think. From what I understand about a documentary, I think I was watching not too long ago, or they control everything so much that these people actually believe that the previous dictator landed on the moon. I mean, shit like that. You know what I mean? So
they
to
control
say
everything.
that these troops don't do anything or that they're not out there fighting for freedom, I mean, I am also inclined to say go fuck yourself. I come from a military family, so to me, when you're saying that, you're disrespecting my family, and I don't take kindly to that. So, yeah.
And today, I worked this morning, and I work in the service industry, and I got the good graces of waiting on a bunch of veterans today. And we as a company were giving them free appetizers, free drinks, things like that. And I know it wasn't me personally giving them these items, but, I got to thank them for what they did for me, and my family. My kids have the right to do what they want to do, to go to schools and to be able to, speak up in class and, give their opinions and, learn in freedom ways that, people don't have around the world here. And it's because of the soldiers we have. It's because of the way that we have fought wars in the past and right now. I may not agree why we're, in Iraq or why we're in Afghanistan.
Right.
The ideals may not be right, but the point of the matter is that these are brothers and sisters and fathers and, daughters, mothers of, us. These are our people right here, and they're over there giving the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, they chose
of their
to put their lives on the
losing
line
their limbs,
to do this for
home.
us.
Right. Exactly. And coming home, with limbs lost and total life changes.
Yeah, and complete disrespect. I mean, the Disabled Veterans is a cause that I give to every year, and it's a charity that I personally believe in a lot because I know veterans that came home from wars that disabled and completely disrespected by certain outlets or certain things in our country, and I just think that that's wrong. We should. These are the people we should revere the most, and they come home to crappy medical care and and to be told that they're baby killers and this, that, and the other.
I work for a car dealership in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and that of course is where the 82nd Airborne Division in Fort Bragg are. So I work with veterans, and a couple of them have kind of opened up and everything and confided in me and about what's going on with them personally since they've been back. And I tell you what, I mean that shit is no joke. I mean, it's
it's not.
I feel for them. I wish that I could do something for them. And what I can do for them is, I can sit there and I can listen to what they have to say and let it get off their chest because, and I feel honored that these two individuals, trust me enough that they can tell me what's going on with them. And believe me, there's stuff you don't want to know about. But out of respect and out of being, doing something nice for a good person, I'll sit there. I'll
That's right, man. Lay it down on me, man. And I'm here for you. And I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm going to listen to every word you say. I'm not going to judge you. Man, you were over there doing me a service.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You were doing my kids a service, my wife, my dad. I mean, we appreciate what you did. So these jackasses out there who want to write, they haven't done anything for freedom in 70 years. Well, you know what, buddy? Pack your shit up, and why don't you move to a third world country where you have no right to do anything, and they can come take your daughter. In Iran, I think it was yesterday, Iran or somewhere, some country like that. I don't know the exact country, so don't take that word verbatim. But they had a mass medical exercise to, oh man, look, now I'm getting frustrated. My mind's going to slow down. To medically castrate women to keep the population down. And 60 of the people died that day. They sent them straight home. 60 people died, and numerous people came back to the hospital to try. We don't live in a country like that. In China right now, you can only have one child. They send
I
you
think
a
they
care
actually
package.
changed the law on that to 2. Not too
No,
long
it's
ago,
one.
a
It's
few
still
years
one.
ago.
I actually, a local radio station here had a guy on that's a local from here that lives in China now. His wife is a Chinese national. You know, he met in school. It's the same thing. They just had a child. They received a care package after they had their child, and it came with diapers and some formula and things like that, and 300 condoms and a letter saying use these.
Wow. See, I heard that if you had a girl, you could have another child, like, because girls aren't as valued in those countries or culturally.
From what I understand, it's one child, and if you have a second child, you have to pay tax on that child, and every child you have past that, I mean, it's like extreme taxes per child every year.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I wish we had a rule like that in this country.
No, look. No, I agree.
I'm not even going to lie.
I believe that some people,
proud.
that there might be a process where you can file people through a line and figure if they should or shouldn't have children. I might agree with that to an extent.
Right. Or judge them by their GPA or IQ level. Like, no, you can't procreate.
Look,
get to the back of the line.
Here's the deal. Look, we'll give you a kitten. That's about as far as you get right now. And some people only get a fish. Some people might just get a goldfish.
Right? Or a pet rock.
Yeah.
You know, look, how you went there. That is so awesome. Look, that has to be a drop right there. Or maybe a pet rock. That is so awesome. But anyway, but yeah, you're right. Some people shouldn't have kids. I agree.
Well, we got some ground to cover before our first guest comes on. But
okay.
Let me just
before we move on right now, I want to say one last thing about the situation.
Okay.
Do you know the guy's name who wrote this?
It was just salon.com.
Okay.
Right. But if you
put that name out there one last time.
You can find him on Twitter. It's at salon.com. That's at
and
salon.com.
And tell this jackass how much of a jackass he is.
I wouldn't even waste my time. Because you can't fix stupid. You can't,
right.
People are going to believe what they want to believe, and that's what's great about this country. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody can say what they want, even if they're stupid. So,
just
good
what?
for you.
I actually found a little clip of this guy talking. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
If we have to, I'm just kidding.
I love it. Well, here's the deal.
So
I'm going to go on his website. I'm going to go on his website, which is funny because in this day and age, usually if you have a computer, you have a TV, and I'm going to ask him if he saw the World Trade Center fucking fall. Because if that's not fighting for freedom after thousands of our fellow Americans died jumping out of 30-story windows.
Yeah.
Because the building's on freaking fire, falling to their death because they'd rather die from the fall than burning to death. And then we go whoop some ass. If that's not for freedom, you can kiss my ass. My red, white, and blue ass, you son of a bitch.
We need, like, the Stars and Stripes theme right about now because Thunder that was a speech for every patriot.
Well, I don't have that. I
just want to put my hand over my heart and...
I've got something just as good. I've got our friends from a while back, Madison Rising. They have a song that was written specifically for the Soldiers of America, and that's the title of it, Soldiers of America. I got their permission earlier today to play the song tonight, and we're going to do that right now. And we'll be right back with the rest of the show.
That's right. Lay it on us. Everybody stand up, put your hand on your heart, salute. This is for the veterans right here. Frick that son of a bitch.
Yes. I'll dedicate this to my family. So all my family members who are in the military.
To my sister or brother, a father, son,
welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That, of course, is Soldiers Soldiers of America by our friends Madison Rising. And I just had to get that off my chest, and I was planning on playing the song.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's right. That's cool.
Yeah, I was planning on playing the song anyway, and then I saw that that thing from Salon.com and David Draymond basically lambasting it. So
well, that was killer. So
yeah. Anyway,
and that was just a great opening segment right there. I just want to say, there should be more days than just one day a year that we appreciate these guys that do this for us. So if you're ever out,
we have several days on the calendar, so it's not like we only have one day.
Every time that I wait on somebody that's in a uniform, or I see them wearing a veteran's hat or something, I always tell them, thanks for what you're doing, man. Thanks for what you did. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's so great to see it. And I see it all the time in the restaurant business. I had a guy come in a couple weeks ago and order a to-go order. And he came in to pick it up, and he was wearing his uniform. And one of my customers at the bar is like, oh, don't give him a check. Don't let him pay for that. I got it.
Right.
Just tell them.
Well, that is one good thing about what happened
you.
with 9/11 is that it taught us to appreciate our military a lot more, because I do see a lot more people coming up to military servicemen, women, and saying thank you for your service and all that. Like, I don't really remember people doing that a whole lot before then.
No,
like my uncle,
right.
He served in the Marines for 23 years, and maybe occasionally every now and then back before 9/11 he might have gotten something like, oh, thanks for your service, something like that. But especially afterwards, he gets it all the time. Like everywhere we go, it's always thank you. And
now, well, let's move on. But first, before we move on, we got a couple. We do have a couple of news stories. But
today's actually not only Veterans Day, but it's National Medal Day.
It's National Medal Day. 10 it up to 11.
Yes.
11. But I want to give a
before you get to the news, real quick, I've got to send a shout out to our good friend Billy from Porphyra. He got married this last weekend, so just want to say congratulations to him and his lovely new bride, and best wishes for you and your happiness.
Congratulations, or I'm sorry.
What?
My condolences.
Why do you wear black to funerals and weddings? I don't understand that. Well, no, I do. But anyway. I'm just kidding.
Now,
Congratulations, buddy.
She's a nice girl.
Well, they all are at first.
Yeah, they all are in the beginning.
All right, you guys. Well, let's be happy for them. All right.
We are. No, we're just.
We want them to come back on the show.
We're just having fun. We're just playing. And just wait. The next time we have him on the show, he'll agree with us.
Don't make me get the whip out, okay? Don't make me do it.
I might like that. You better pull a better. Say a hammer. I mean, I know I won't like getting hit with a hammer.
Yeah. Okay. Then don't make me get the crowbar out, because I mean business.
Well,
I don't fuck around.
And people say that all the time, like, "Oh, don't make me get the whip out." I'm like, "Well, you don't know my extracurricular activities. You better make it a hammer."
All right,
like
then.
that.
Crowbar for
I'm
you.
just kidding. That was a joke anyway. I just thought it was funny.
Yes, it
you gotta
was.
make a good radio. You got to make a good radio.
And that was very good radio.
I'm trying to give let everybody know what's happening on the show, because there's been a guest added today, and that you're probably not aware of. At 10:35, our buddy Spade from 3D in Your Face is coming on to talk about, they're launching a fundraising project to fund their new video for Forbidden City, which they told us about on the Halloween show briefly, and we unfortunately didn't have enough time to talk to him or any of our guests that night, for that matter. But yeah, he's going to elaborate on that and tell us about how this fundraising campaign, that and whatever other 3D in Your Face news happens. Then around 10:55, we'll break, play an Aries song, and then come back with them. But we got a couple more news stories. So Thunder, do you like docking?
Yes, I like docking.
Thunder's going to love this. He's gonna
Thunder's gonna love this story.
It's another bass player injury story, isn't it?
No, not an
you
injury
sons
story.
of bitch. Look, here, hold up now. I'm going to end up, after being on this show, and I mean no disrespect to the military out there, but I deserve a Purple Heart for all the mental injuries I get on this show.
Well, at least you're not in Don Dawkins' band, okay? So Will tell you what's going on.
Oh, God, here we go.
You need to hear this. You need to hear this. Don Dawkins recently fired his bass player, and his bass player's name was Sean McNabb, and they were he kept telling. He said this in an interview, or when in the press release or whatever. He said that he kept, he was trying to make it the Sean McNabb show, and it wasn't. It was the Dawkins show. But he would try to, Don Dawkins would tell him to turn down his bass on stage, and he wouldn't. So Don would have to go over and do it for him. But here's the kicker.
Anyway, go ahead.
He said that he doesn't like bass players that use their fingers. He said that he prefers bass players that use picks because it gives it a more edgier and heavy sound.
Okay, guys, listen here. You're going to have to finish the show by yourself because I have to get on the computer right now. What is it, Expedia.com or one of these things? I have to research where Don Dawkins lives, and in about a week and a half, you're going to have, right? I'm telling you now.
We're going to have to bail you out of jail again, Thunder. Are you kidding me?
Put a little change aside. Get your change jars out. Do whatever you have to do. You're going to have to get me out of jail before we do the show next week because I'm going to go whoop some ass. Okay, and from now on, forever.
I've got one question.
It's no longer.
I have to know.
I changed their name.
Did he shoot his bass player before he fired him?
It's not Dawkins anymore. It's Dickin.
Oh, yeah, this is coming from the guy who never let George Lynch have a proper solo in any of the songs. The solos are always 10 seconds before he has to start singing again, because God forbid anybody enjoys the solo.
No, Dawkins has
and once again, and I'll tell you what, and now I also know what to do. I'm going to become a real estate agent so I can buy houses next to each other from the dickhead from the website and Dawkins.
But we still
and
don't know.
Fuck you, Don Dawkins. It's not a fucking guitar. It's a bass. You use your fingers, you fucker. You ever seen a stand-up bass player with a fucking pick? It would look like a fucking plate, you jackass.
Hey, Thunder. But wait, there's more.
Anyway. Yeah,
there's
I'm
more.
back again. Are you, Bill, I have to ask you a question. You know I have high blood pressure, right? You know I take medicine for that, right? I'm getting older, and I really, it's called hypertension. You give me a story about a jackass who's fucking with veterans, and now you're telling me Don Dawkins, one of the bands I listened to when I was growing up, said that he likes bass players to play with a fucking pick better? Are you trying to give me a heart attack or a stroke right now? Then we'll come on the show next week, and I'll be, and I'll be drooling on myself and mad and be like, then I'll be only talk out of one side of my mouth and be like, you're welcome to do the Thunder Show.
So are we going to do the show live from the hospital or the jail? What? I need to know where to go.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It'll be on location next week.
But the next part of this story is you're really going to love who he replaced him with. He replaced him with a lead singer.
Really?
Can the singer play bass?
The singer plays bass. He replaced him with, actually, in my opinion, the singer is actually a better singer than Don Dawkins ever was. It was Mark Bowles who sang on arguably the best Yngwie Malmsteen album, which was Trilogy, and he brought him in to play bass, which if I was as egotistical as Don Dawkins, I might be a little it's like, okay, this guy's a better singer than me.
Yeah,
well, honestly, Don
if
Dawkins,
I was Don Dawkins, the last person I'd want to hire is another singer. I'd want all singers as far away from me as humanly possible.
Right, exactly. And find some jackass on the street who doesn't know what a bass guitar is. Like, oh, you just started playing guitar. Let me show you this one. It only has 4 strings. It's easier than that one.
And you can use a pick.
You can use a pick. Oh, look, dude. And look, and no disrespect to bass players who play with a pick. I mean, there's a style of doing that. But as I said, originality comes from the original instrument right there. The stand-up bass is where the electric bass came from. Okay? And you don't see people playing the stand-up bass with a pick. Yeah, a bow maybe when you're playing classical music, I understand that.
Right.
But if you want to play some good funk bass or some good heavy rock music, use your fucking fingers and learn how to fucking run them and learn some speed. Look at Steve Harris, and you tell me you need a pick. Kiss my.
Yeah, Flea. Look at Flea. Like, could you imagine telling Flea to play with a pick?
Yeah,
Don Dokken would do it. Don Dokken would probably.
And you know what would happen? If I was on that stage, first of all, and he'd have touched my volume knob on my bass cab, I'd have punched him in the face and then beat him down with my bass guitar. I'd have used it like an axe. And I'm short statured. That's why I got the nickname the Thunder Midget. You know, where Kevin Thunder comes from. I'd be swinging that thing like the dude from the Lord of the Rings, the little red-haired motherfucker. I'd just beat his ass to death with it.
We knew you'd like that story.
I'm hearing this story that you're telling about Don Dokken. I just keep thinking of that episode of Behind the Music with the Partridge Family, where David Cassidy is explaining to Danny Bonaducci how to play the bass. You don't strum it, you pluck it. I just keep thinking of that over in my head. Oh my God, man. Is that the guy did he get Danny Bonaducci to play the bass in this band?
No, he got Mark Bowles, who is a phenomenal lead singer.
You don't get a singer, though. I mean, you got to get somebody okay, so, yeah, so Don Dokken does something else that makes me wonder what the fuck is wrong with him.
You guys do the show for about 20 minutes here. I'm going to meditate, try and catch my breath.
Do you need to borrow my crowbar?
We knew you would love that story, Thunder.
I thought you guys would. And you see, the thing is here, you know, we talk a little bit here and there before the show, and I never catch these bits and pieces of it.
Of course. We like to spring them on you. That's all the fun.
Yeah, if we prepared you, what fun would it be? Come on.
Again, that was hilariously funny. That was fantastic.
Anyway, we got one more.
So what's up with the old bass player? Where did he go? Did he shoot him or?
Not that I know of.
Not yet.
Not yet. No. I hope that some bitch fucking loses his mind, snaps, comes to his house with a bass guitar gun, and shoots him right there.
That would be actually pretty awesome.
And I want the trigger on the bass guitar gun to look like a fucking pick. Goes, oh, you want me to use a fucking pick? Here we go. And then he picks him off. Okay.
Calm down, Thunder. Now we got a drummer to talk about.
I know.
What the fuck's up with the percussion section?
Well, you were mentioning jail. I mean,
well, let's go ahead and let's talk about jail. Let's have some fun with this.
Well, AC/DC's drummer was arrested this past week for allegedly trying to solicit some dirty deeds done dirt cheap. And apparently,
you know what he was doing? He was trying to hire a hitman to kill fucking Don Dokken for the bass player, man. They stick together, brother.
Yeah, he was not trying to buy a hooker. Let's clarify that right now. It wasn't, what anyone else would do.
Well, yeah, and speaking of hookers, which would she rather you use, a pick or your fingers? Case closed.
I don't play bass. I'm out of this.
Well, anyway, he was trying to hire a hitman, and the article didn't say for who he was allegedly trying to kill or anything like that, but it got me kind of wondering if they discussed anything like concrete shoes, cyanide, TNT, or high voltage.
Are you kidding? Wow. You know what? I read the story, never got too far into the situation and thinking about it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of crazy, man. You dove in that far to put that much into it, and I love that about you. Wow. But I'm going to tell you what right now. From get-go to right now, and I'm going to guarantee you is the best radio we've ever done right here.
Probably.
Look, it is, wow. I mean, everybody's had a little thing right here that just does not stop, and it's just perfect on pitch. Look, if we were a band right now, this would be like the perfect show. Not a missed note. I mean, not a broken string, nothing. This just perfect. There is not one Spinal Tap moment in this opening segment. Huh?
No drunk bass player.
What?
No drunk bass player.
Oh my
Wait. Are we in a story now about drunk bass players? Wait.
No. I'm just jabbing on Thunder there.
He's busting my balls. And look, I'll own it. Look, here's what happened. It's dead serious. Well, no, not dead serious, because dead serious is one of our greatest guests. So this is honest. One time, I was off the night we had a show, and so I grabbed all the equipment and brought it to the bar we were going to play in that evening, and was setting up all the equipment. Well, I started drinking at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And by the time we went on stage at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, I had no faculties about myself left, and I'm trying to play the bass with my fingers, which did not work anymore.
Maybe you should have used
I didn't fall down. Huh? Oh, I should have used the pick, yeah. You know what? Just about done with therapy. Here's another.
Thunder's hitting everywhere in the next week. He's going to jail. He's going to the ER. He's going to the crazy house.
I should be in all of those right now anyway. So, I mean, look, I think they all have my name and are just waiting for you to walk the door. Oh, we've been waiting for you. Yeah.
You have a coffee mug. You have your own coffee mug at all of them. Like, here you go.
Exactly. Welcome back, man. You ready for another weekend? Thanks. Come on in. It's like the Hilton for me.
We've been waiting for you.
My multiple Hotel Californias.
You're late. You were supposed to be here yesterday.
That's when I go, oh, you don't want to hear about yesterday? Let's go into the future. Come on. Oh. Welcome to my world, guys. Thank you. Thank you, world. Now you guys know. This was my world. Now you guys are all a part of it. Come on in. Come on.
Love you. Beat it.
Yeah, love you. Beat it. Okay. Well, enough about me. Let's go back into the news right here.
I think aren't we supposed to get to our guests now, or isn't it already 35 after the hour?
He's going to be calling in any second now.
All righty.
Fade, come save me. Somebody.
Huh?
Somebody.
Are you all right, Thunder?
No, I'm very good. I'm very good. But
we love you anyway.
Enough about. And I'm dead serious. I really think that it was probably, the drummer got a phone call from a fellow bass player saying, "Look, man, here's what's going on. This is bullshit. Don Doc is busting my balls here. He can't have a band because he wants me to play with a fucking pick. He's bringing in a fucking lead singer." And the drummer's like, "A lead singer? Hold on. I got to take a trip real quick. I'm going over to Holland or somewhere like that."
Are we really surprised? I mean, Don Dawkins kind of has a reputation of pissing off everybody he works in a band with.
True.
It's just everybody that's been in a band with him.
I really have a question here. I have a question because, I go on the web all the time and I try and find stories, rock news stories, and I find bullshit all the time. It's no big deal. It's nothing big. Are you just searching literally fucked up stories about bass players? Is that what you bang right there? You Google it like, Google, what's new today? Fucked up bass player story. Oh, yeah. Bass player of fucking fuck band right there was found masturbating in a park to issue of Time magazine 1947. I mean, it's like that's what you just come up with this shit out of nowhere.
Then you know what, Thunder? All right, I've got something good for you that has to do with bass players, sort of.
Well, actually, I've got.
Oh my goodness! Is there really a story like that?
No,
we're not all fucked up or getting shot or something like that.
Not that I know of. There's no disclaimer or anything.
3D in Your Face's bass player is with us right now. We're gonna bring him on in just a second to talk about the
oh, sorry, Thunder.
No. So now we have a good story with the bass player. That's awesome.
We have
you
a good
got a
bass
new
player.
video coming out. That's awesome. All right. And you guys won't bust his balls like you bust mine, you know? He probably plays with a pick, too.
Welcome to our little city. We ride on the streets of phone. Welcome to our big city. With dream we are never alone.
What's going on, Sammy? Sammy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty
What's
good.
going on, Sammy? How you doing, man?
I've been enjoying this conversation immensely.
Thank you very much, man. Stand up for us bass players, man.
Bass players
There's a lay off here a little bit, man.
More often.
We got better rhythm.
Exactly. It's all about the rhythm.
That's right.
The vibrations.
Exactly. It's all about the feel, the touch. Touch the strings. Feel them. Oh, God, man. These guys right here always try to bust my balls.
We do it because we love you, Thunder.
Yeah. I've heard that so
when
many
are you
times.
going to
I
learn?
still don't believe it. I still don't believe it.
We kid because we love.
Anyway,
I hate
Sammy.
to see if you hated me. Anyway, come on in with some good news, brother.
Yeah, definitely. We are. I just talked to Bill and the Will about doing a new. We're putting out a new T-shirt. We got a new T-shirt line going out. We got a new video. We got a new single that's coming out. We have just this whole big thing coming, and we basically launched it today. And Will got a hold of me, and I asked if he'd want to talk about it on the show tonight.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, it's basically our third single. We're putting off our latest album, Midnight Devils. The album's called Midnight Devils. We're putting out our third single, which is Forbidden City, which is like a clip of what you just heard. And we decided to do kind of like a crowdfunder. A lot of bands are doing crowdfunding things these days, and I think it's a really cool way to kind of incorporate your fans into what you're doing, into your art, into your music. We're doing this with T-shirts.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, we were talking kind of a little bit about that last week, about, kind of the fundraising aspects of, the way bands are doing things now. And some people don't agree with it, but they don't understand that it's doing the same thing in a reverse way. Right now you buy the T-shirts, get things funded to get this album out, and you get the T-shirt. You're already right there wearing a T-shirt when you go see them in concert. It's kind of a cool way to keep especially this kind of underground, unlabeled music on the uprise and keeping things going, where you can hear what you want to hear and support what you want to without the record labels being involved.
Right. It's very limited to the artwork's just limited to this T-shirt, and it's only for 21 days. We're only doing the campaign for 21 days, and it's only available through this website, and that's it. This guy did amazing artwork, and once this is over, that's all of these shirts that we're going to put out.
Do we have a link to that we can share on our Facebook page so people can get their hands on it?
Yeah, I believe I just posted one on the event page and on the chat room.
Okay, great. Cool. I will look into that right now and put it up on the main page. So everybody can have a chance at this.
So what's the cost for the T-shirt?
The T-shirt is $18 plus shipping, and that's like 100% of that.
That's very affordable, actually.
It is, absolutely.
The artwork and the time I think that we put into this is really good. I am super proud of what was done. A tattoo artist actually created this off the written script that I did for the video, and he kind of took my idea and put it into a drawing, and that's the kind of the idea for the shirt.
That's awesome, man. It's a one-of-a-kind idea out of your brain in picture.
Yep,
that's really cool, man.
And the artist name is Scott Phillips. He's from Omaha, tattoo artist guy, and we were kind of talking like how do bands put out T-shirts, and what are the memorable shirts that when you see some guy walking down the street wearing a shirt, that time and place. Like you see an Iron Maiden shirt and you can tell what tour it was, and what songs are on that tour, like just by looking at his T-shirt, and that's kind of where we were at when we wanted to go into designing a shirt.
Yeah, I was actually
Iron
talking about that with Thunder
like
last week about why I collect band T-shirts, and that's exactly for the same reason, because if you meet somebody who is of like mind or goes to concerts like you do, you instantly have a connection, like, yeah, I was at that show, or I remember when this happened.
Or on top of that, just the building piece in the advertisement of your band right there. You got another person wearing, someone's wearing a Iron Maiden shirt. They see you wearing a shirt that has the artwork, and you can tell by the name and, by the way the artwork's done to make, that rock style. Oh, everybody knows Iron Maiden, but who's 3D in your face? I can tell this is a rock shirt. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Yep. And
kind of directs you.
No, you're right. There's like what Dio or those really iconic Dio shirts, we're kind of drawing inspiration from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've seen the artwork, and it's
nice.
really, really good.
I have not seen the artwork yet, but that's one thing that I really do enjoy, especially about the metal world right there. Is you take some of these bands there, especially like Iron Maiden, Megadeth. The artwork was as big of a part of the band as their music was. I remember when I was growing up, back in the 80s and 90s, to get a full back patch of Iron Maiden or what have you on your jean jacket right there, and the art was ridiculous good.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show, too, about how certain album artists are almost synonymous with that band, such as Derek Riggs being synonymous with Iron Maiden or Hugh Syme being synonymous with Rush, so on and so forth. Like, their art is so interconnected to the music that you literally cannot imagine the music without those images, and vice versa.
Exactly. And it was as easy to look at the albums when you were a kid, at the artwork to know who it was. You didn't even have to see the name on there. You saw Eddie, you're like, oh, I know who that is.
Right, absolutely.
Exactly. It was spot on in your mind right there. And that's awesome about that.
Yeah, and it really connects the audio with the visual.
Exactly.
Without the video, you're still like looking at that album cover, looking at that T-shirt, going, I can hear that song playing in my mind while I'm looking at this, and you're just like, I totally get it. I get the concept now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, can you tell us a little bit
more about the video, or?
Yeah. I was just going to say, good. We didn't really get a chance to talk much about it last time, but if you could go into actually where the video, just the story, what's in you guys' head for the video? What's the plan?
So the song Forbidden City kind of came about. It was we wanted to write a heavier tune for the album, and one that didn't necessarily rhyme. All the lyrics rhyme. I wanted something that was different. So I kind of came up with this idea, and I based it around the necropolis, or the cities of the dead over in Europe, where there would be these guys that would live and keep the city of the dead, like the maintenance guys, and they were almost the keepers of a city of dead people, if you will. So I kind of based that around like the entire song. So the city of the dead was almost like was rock and roll, was the bands that we loved growing up, and we were the keepers of that secret, and we were the honored soldiers that protected those memories, and we lived it, and that's where the idea for Forbidden City came from. And so I when I was sitting down to write this video, I was like, I really want to shoot this video inside of an old Catholic church if I could, but I didn't know where to do that, and I was talking to one of our sponsors, a party bus, Joe from Party Express Bus. He was like, I think I know somewhere where you can shoot this video. So like a week later, I found myself in an abandoned monastery in Omaha that had a crypt underneath the altar, and they'd taken the nuns out of the crypt in the 90s, so there were just these giant holes in the wall still, and I'm like, that's perfect,
Right.
Yeah, pretty much like exactly went along with what I had envisioned for the song. So putting the words, the music to the visual.
Hey,
that sounds killer.
I'm exactly right now. First of all, it's kind of creepy, which is awesome right there. To be sitting in that crypt right there with the open holes right there and filming the video right there, it's going to be so intense. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the
Did
ideas
you
of
feel
where
any
you're
vibes
at.
when you were filming the video, or did you feel like any presence or?
No, I did.
They
You know,
haven't
we haven't filmed it yet, but when I was down there, I did get in. One of the, you know, like one of the holes. They were like, "Go ahead, you can get in there. It's fine." And I was like, "Well, I guess why not?" But I'm not really. Some people are more sensitive to I believe, to the spirit world than others, and I don't think
Right.
I have that gift. But I believe that our guitar player will probably, Sniper, when he goes down there, he'll probably feel something. He's more sensitive on that line than I am.
You know,
Right.
when you got into that crypt right there and you slid in there, have you ever seen the movie The Jacket? It's kind of like it's very, very creepy movie. But, I mean, I've seen the movie, and I'd freak out trying to get in that little box right there. I'd be like, look, I'd be like, I can't breathe in here. Somebody pull me out. And if someone did not grab my boots at that time and yank me out of that hole, I'd freak out and probably kill myself. I'd beat my head up against the concrete. I can just imagine. Huh.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but Sniper has joined the queue, so we're going to bring him in, all right?
Oh,
Bring him
cool.
on in.
Let's hear his story. Does he have any stories?
What's going on, Sniper?
Hey, what's up, Will and Thunder? What's going
Welcome
on?
to the
Welcome
show.
on in, man, and thank you for your service, brother. Happy Veterans Day.
Oh, are
Thank
you a
you.
vet?
Yeah.
That's why they call him
Actually,
Sniper.
I was going to ask
Awesome.
where
Thank you for your
Will
service.
worked there in Fayetteville, because I bought my first Dodge Ram in Fayetteville from right on Yadkin and right outside the front gate at Bragg. I bought a 2002 Dodge Ram right when I got back from Afghanistan. You weren't working, of course, but some little short guy named Hermes or something like that. But
That was
more to the
probably
point,
Crown Dodge. That was probably
that sounds
Crown
about right.
Dodge.
That's it. That's exactly what it was.
I worked for Crown Ford, which is right there at the intersection of Skybo and Bragg.
Right on. I just called to talk about. Spade was talking about the actual time when he came up with Forbidden City, and I remembered it. I remember thinking, I don't know if you guys are Gary Moore fans, but he wrote a song called "Victims of the Future." And I came up with this really heavy riff, and Spade just looked at it and was just like, "Oh, fuck, have I got something for you on this one, bro?" And I'm like, "Talk to me." And we were in our little rehearsal space, and it was like, it's probably like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Spade. Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I just started playing it out, and he already said, "I already got it." He was ready at the first couple, verses down, and then we came back 3 or 4 days later, and the song was done. And I remember how you kind of briefed me on it, and I was thinking more like Victims of the Future by Gary Moore, and you're like, no, this is more like Necropolis and Dead People, more like the tombs under Rome and stuff, all the Roman catacombs and stuff. And I was like, super heavy.
Yeah, Machu Picchu down in Peru and all that, the cities that are left there, and having people there that are just kind of watching over things and fixing things and keeping things, in order. That's so, the concept's awesome right there. And actually, I could see an album.
I just asked your bandmate if you felt, when you were filming the video, if you felt like any vibes or like a certain weird feeling, because when we had our guest on last week, Pamela Moore, she was talking about when she was filming her video at like an abandoned warehouse and certain weird things that started happening during filming of her video. So I was just curious if you guys had any scary, creepy stories like that to share about your video experience.
Well, I haven't actually been there yet. Spade did a pre-production walkthrough and was kind of looking at it, and he sent me a couple pictures of him laying in one of the catacomb things, and I was just like, "Oh my God, did you brush your hair off, dude? That's gross." And he was like, "No, why?" And I'm like, But I have not actually been to the site yet because I had another commitment. Him and the drummer went there and checked it out. I believe Joe and Alicia went from Party Bus and took pictures and sent them to me. But I'm stoked to get there and check it out because I'm kind of sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the same kind of way, and not so much sensitive to things, but I'm sensitive to laying in the same place that a dead person's already been laying. that, and I understand about, did you brush your hair? I mean, look, I was just telling them, pull me out of there, man. Look, I mean, I might stick my head in there, and I don't know if I can crawl in there like that. I don't know. Look, man, I have respect for the dead, man, and not that it's disrespectful, but I don't know what I really don't know what happens after death, so I don't know. I don't want to be a part of your afterlife experience.
I kind of felt like it was a holy place. It had already been, a sacred place, and I really wasn't walking into anything that was going to be evil or detrimental to what I was doing.
Well, I didn't think it'd be evil or detrimental.
No, I didn't mean anything like that. I just meant like.
This is your resting place.
Presence or anything.
Actually, Spade's probably lucky he didn't catch on fire going in there the way he acts. I'm just saying.
He is a bass player. You never know. He's lucky he didn't get shot by a ghost arrow or bullet.
Just posted up a picture there on your
Spade
Facebook.
uses a pick, so we're okay. I don't have a problem with that. So.
Yeah, you guys are okay.
Thunder.
I know they did. God bless America.
Well, guys, thank you for coming on the show again. It's always a pleasure, and I don't know if Spade's talked to you, Sniper, since we talked earlier, but I can't really, I'm not going to promise anything, but I am in contact with some people that are involved with the 80s in the Park Festival down in Florida, and I'm going to send him a demo packet to get to the promoter of that event, and hopefully we can gin up enough noise to where the promoter wants to include you in next year's bill.
That'd be great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have them buy 20 T-shirts so we get this video going, though. Okay.
Absolutely.
I just put something up on our Facebook right now about that. So
I'm going to go on tonight after the show. After the show tonight, I'm going to go buy a shirt, man. I can't wait to have it in my repertoire, man.
I'm going to get one.
Thank
too.
you very much. And the website it's teespring.com/3D in your face.
Awesome.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for being with us, guys, and we will we'll definitely be in touch in the future, and I'm sure we'll be on as guests again at some point in the future. And I'll
keep the base alive. And Sniper, thank you for your service, man.
Thank you,
sir. Well, thanks a lot, guys. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Okay, thank you. You all right?
All right, that of course was 3D in your face, and we're going to play a song by our guest Aries, who they're here right now. So we're going to play one of their songs, and then we're going to be right back with them live on the Will and Thunder Show. And oh my God, we're actually on schedule.
Oh right.
There's no such thing as on schedule in our show. Let's listen to some Aries and let's get back to business.
Despite all of Thunder's breakdowns, we are on schedule. This is
stop it. I wasn't breaking down. I was just telling the truth. I was preaching. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Oh, we love you,
I guess
Thunder.
not.
Anyway, let's get this show on the road, man. I've waited for the last 3 months to get these guys on the show, so let's do it. Let's play the song. It's called The Road One Way. It kicks ass. Aries, let's get it going. Rock out.
Racing
Hi, welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That, of course, was The Road by our guest Aries, and they're here with us right now. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
How you guys doing tonight, man?
What?
I'm not sure I caught that one.
I'm not sure what happened either. It sounded like Godzilla possessed Thunder there for a second.
Oh my God,
How are you
Rob's
guys
on the show,
making it
so we
tonight?
got
You guys
Godzilla.
doing
You
good?
bring Godzilla on the show.
Huh.
So, guys, what's your name, sir?
I'm Rob, the vocalist.
And I'm Sean. I'm the guitar player.
Guys, that was an
All right,
awesome
awesome.
Thanks, appreciate it.
That was, I mean, I hadn't heard, the songs. Hold on a second. I got a cough. Excuse me. Damn it.
No problem.
It's that Ebola.
Yeah.
And you're calling me Godzilla. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. And the song was awesome, man, by the way. And I had not heard anything of this time as well. And it's ridiculous. I mean, there I go with my word. And it was ridiculous good, man. It was very, very good.
Well,
Appreciate
thanks,
it,
man.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what we're going for. Like, we want people to hear this song who doesn't know anything about us, and instantly, draw their ear to it and be like, whoa.
Well, generally when we it's either me or Christiana that books a band on the show, and unless it's a national band, one of us has heard this band, the other one hasn't. So we like to keep it so that two of us have never heard the songs before. That way you get a raw first reaction from it. So it's like she had
Pretty
heard
organic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I trust her judgment. She trusts my judgment. So, and that's what we do with bands. So.
Yeah, and Will will tell you that you guys were like one of the first bands I wanted to book when they brought me into this wonderful dynamic here.
Oh, we really appreciate
our
it.
family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been waiting a long time to get you guys in here.
And Christiana,
Where
it's
are
not
you
a
guys
dynamic.
from?
We're a family.
Gotcha.
Where are you guys from? Where
Baltimore?
are you guys
We're from the Baltimore area, Baltimore, Maryland. That's like our stomping ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ravens fans?
You guys are from the same area as Sound of Thunder, right?
Roughly, a little north.
Okay, because that's how I first got wind of you guys was when I interviewed them last year for Sonic Cathedral, and I asked them what bands on their local scene that they liked the best or that they thought were really good, besides themselves, obviously. And you guys were the first band they named, so.
Oh, wow. That's awesome of them.
Yeah, I didn't even know
yeah,
that.
I'll send you the link later, but yeah, they mentioned you guys, and I think actually you were the only band they mentioned.
Wow. That's really great because they're an excellent band. I mean, we're sort of contemporaries, but we're also like bands to a pretty good degree too.
Yeah,
well,
and they're a big deal around here too.
That song to me sounded like just like it had stripped down rock influences, but still metal.
We try to find that balance. We're metalheads. We love 70s, 80s style stuff. However, we try to make music that, while you can hear the influences, it's not trite or convoluted. It pays respects to what we grew up listening to, but we try to keep things still fresh and accessible as well. We have some straight up heavy metal songs right out of the Judas Priest catalog. We have some lighter rock songs. This is I'd say perfectly in the middle of our music. It's really probably the most accessible tune we have.
That's what I was going to say by hearing the song. This is the first song I've heard from you guys, and right there it was right dead down the middle right here, because I read your bio right there where you guys talk about your 70s, 80s influences right there. So what you're doing is you're paying respect to those bands, and I can hear it in the vocals at times and guitars, but also you are keeping it kind of fresh and trying to keep it up to date, which is what you have to do. I mean, it's keeping the legend alive by keeping things new, and that's a great concept there, because you can't play like Led Zeppelin played because it's not the 70s anymore.
Exactly.
But you can pay tribute to their style by doing it in a fresh new way. And that's exactly what I heard when I listened to that song, and I love that. And I think that's a direction that I'd like to see a lot of the younger musicians come into, man. Look at Iron Maiden, look at Led Zeppelin, look at Kiss, and see what they were doing right at the time that made that music such a monster right there, and bring it back with some fresh eyes and some fresh ears. And, I mean, that's the sound I heard from you guys in that first song, and I respect you guys for that.
Appreciate it. You know, it's about being relevant and but not compromising where you're from, I suppose. It's the best way to put it.
Right. That was well spoken right there. That was very well spoken.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wrote in my review of your album, is that I like that you guys obviously pay tribute to the earlier bands and have that influence, but it doesn't sound dated or gimmicky or whatnot. Pretty much everything you just said. I pretty much agreed with all of that.
This is the point right there. When you see a lot of these bands right here, especially the young kids who try to play tribute to these bands, and they sound
you're not trying to be Steel Panther, in other words.
Right.
That's what I mean, it's like
and they're also
bands
not,
that do this
college.
sound.
Right. And you're not college band sounding. You're not. I don't know. I mean, you don't have that. Look, man, I'm playing an acoustic guitar, and I'm going to play, this song from this band, or and then I'm going to throw a twist to it. You guys are keeping it your own. You're writing new music, but you're keeping the vibe alive, and that's what it should be.
Mhm. If I want to listen to Metallica, I'll listen to Metallica. Why would I want to listen to some guy recreate the whole thing when they did it right the first time?
Right.
That's depending on which album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm a diehard Metallica fan, but there's only so much that's considered Metallica in my mind, and I might be one of the guys like, oh, this is Metallica. But anything after Saint Anger, oh Lord have mercy.
You stuck with them a lot longer than I did. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of musicians I've worked with over the years where, like, they're really influenced by Metallica, but to the point where it's becoming a caricature of the influences they had from them, particularly Metallica. They're like, that's almost like criminal these days with some of the younger musicians that are fans of older metal. Like, I was in a group a while back, and they were recording songs so close to Metallica, like they were not even apologizing for it. We had rehearsals where we would play these Metallica-like riffs, and then at the end of it, I got a recording of one of them, and they're like, this song sounds like Orion, and then I listened to it, I'm like, this is practically Orion, and the song title, when I got the file, said Orion, and it was like, well, if we just wrote Orion again, number one, Orion's an instrumental, so what the hell am I doing with this? And number two, it's Orion. Why do I have Orion again?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who can understand Metallica fans?
So how long? I think that's what really separates our music from a lot of other bands. Is what you said with the Steel Panther really nailed it. Like most bands that try to do what we do, they try to almost be like a parody of the genre, whereas we actually, take the great elements of it and, like you guys said, really try to make it more modern and fresh at the same time without having to be basically a joke about it.
Right. You had to take the melodies and the good songwriting that made the '80s great, but you left behind the hairspray and the spandex, which makes you guys more awesome. So.
I'm not going to take anything away from Steel Panther and bands like that because there's a lot of good bands.
I'm just making a comparison here.
But
they're really good at what they do, and there's definitely a great market for that. I think some of the songwriting is really cool, but it attracts certain people that really miss that stuff, but it also deters a lot of people that are either new to that stuff or a lot of the image back in that era kind of deterred them in the first place, which kind of alienates a part of the fan base. And furthermore, it's same with the lyrics, stuff like that, where it works for a lot of people that are looking to have, a good 80s hair metal kind of party time, but other people that are looking for a different kind of approach, maybe something a little more middle of the road, not even middle of the road, but just something that I guess doesn't stick with the same formula over and over.
Right, yeah, well,
it's
you
not
make a
just
good point.
Parties, girls.
That's a huge reason that I'm a Queensryche fan, is because they were never like that. They always wrote something that wasn't about partying and girls and getting drunk or whatever. And they offered something different for people who may have liked that particular kind of music, but couldn't exactly get down with the idea of party all the time or whatever.
Thinking man's metal, really, I guess.
Exactly.
I'm a big fan.
So, are you guys all from the Baltimore area?
I think I missed the beginning of that one. I'm sorry.
Are you guys all from the Baltimore area? I mean, is that where you all hail from, or?
Well, I mean, we're from like the suburbs, but I mean, it's just easier to say Baltimore, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's like the convergence point, really, and that's also where the scene is.
Oh, that's cool.
And what's it like there? What is the scene? Is it a lot of metal, or are you guys only only metal?
Sean's got some good opinions. I think I'll let him start with that one.
Well, I mean, it's a great scene, and there's a lot of great bands, but if I'm going to be honest, I feel like it's really struggling just because, and I mean, I think it's just kind of like a sign of the times where, you know, a lot of people are more into like, you know, like dance clubs, like DJ clubs and things like that, and prices go up, and a lot of people don't really want to, you know, really, you know, Friday night, you know, I've been working a hard week. What do I want to do? Go out and spend like $50 in parking and beer to go see a band, or just hang out with some friends or go to a dance club? But having said that, like, there still is a really diehard scene of fans that like really like our music, and I think that is a testament to what we're doing, that we're able to like get over those hurdles and actually build quite a you know, big fan base, not just in Baltimore, but around like the whole tri-state area.
Yeah. I guess furthering on the scene thing, there was a period of time, I'd say about probably about 4 or 3 years ago, where there was a lot of hardcore, a lot of emo stuff, and that seemed to have faded away for the most part. And now I'd say the heart of the community is really the 98 Rock, Noise in the Basement kind of crew. There's a good collection of bands. We kind of congregate together on Monday nights for the show called Noise in the Basement. If you really want to get an idea of the scene, it's usually going to be what's going on those Monday nights or the Sunday interviews the day before. It's a nice collection. We have stuff from Tool-sounding bands to bands actually very much like Steel Panther. There's a band called Sin for Sin, but Sin for Sin they're more serious about the craft, I'd say. I think they just had their farewell show. They were around for a few years. They're very talented. Their vocalist is great. The guitar players are great. The whole thing, it's a great lineup. There are some really strong bands out there. It's just interest is kind of waned over the last few years, and it's a lot of the community supporting itself. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of musicians that are going out and supporting each other, which is really great. But a lot of it also brings up the question of, are you in this to support yourselves, or are you in this to have fans that want to support your art? And if it's the latter of the two, Baltimore's kind of tough in that aspect.
Right. And once again, well spoken, I understand it, you know. And that's, you know, a lot of the local music scenes are, especially in this day and age right now, because the rock and metal music genre is kind of in a lull in this country right now. You go out to the rest of the world here, and the metal genre is huge everywhere, except right here.
It gets played on the radio in certain countries, and I have friends from Finland who tell me, like, because I explain to them sometimes about how metal is somewhat vilified in our country, which is ironic considering we have a National Metal Day, but yet we're still looked at as the underdogs of society. And we, you know, I tried to explain to her that sometimes walking down the street with a metal shirt, people are going to look at you or think certain way of you, and she's like, it's not even that way at all in this country. People grandmas walk down the street in metal shirts, and nobody thinks anything of it. It's not even a thing. It's not even an issue in Finland at all.
Right. Well, like last week we were talking to a metal band from Canada, and they were talking about how much it took for them to come down here and to play one show. They actually have to have a year's worth of dates, and it takes, 30 to 50 days to even get considered. And it's really been a misstep in the music industry for this style of music, because they've kind of let it go when grunge came into there and the metal end of music kind of stepped away for a second, they just let it go and let it, like, all right, we'll let this sleeping dog lie. But it's never died. It's been there, and it's become the underground now, which is kind of cool, man. That it's back to where it started. The underground kind of sounds right there, kind of like punk and all that right there, and where metal first got its stronghold, and it's over in Europe, and maybe it's time for another invasion. But I'd like it to be an inner invasion where bands like you and the bands we've talked to before that had this metal influence still just kind of rise from the ashes right here and kind of put it back on the map. Because, man, the more I talk to people like you who are still in love with this style of music, my heart gets pumping faster and faster. And, I feel that resurgence coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's interesting you say the phrase rise from the ashes. That's actually a lot of the inspiration for our album, titled Rise. That was what we were trying to do. We were setting out to have like this new sound to basically almost like breathe life back into the hard rock metal scene and like you said, rise from the ashes and let people know that sound isn't gone. Like we're still here and like we're still trying to make it happen.
Right, metal's not dead, it's just hibernating.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the way that you guys are paying tribute to the old but still keeping it fresh and new right there. And maybe that's a way to get some of these younger people to, step back and look and go, oh, wait a minute here. Like I've got two children who are 11 and 13, and I'll sit back and I'll grab my phone and throw on YouTube and I'll throw some older songs in there. My 11-year-old wants a guitar. I'm going to get him one for Christmas this year because he wants to be one of these guitar players that I've been showing him. I'm like, now this is he'll come home from school and, oh, listen to this station right here. It's all pop music and garbage in my opinion. But and there's music to it. Don't get me wrong. There's some piano and but there's no screaming guitar in the background. There's no rhythm to it. I mean, you don't hear that flashy bass in the background. And I'll throw in just a little something here that'll have a snippet of a killer bass drum or a great guitar solo. And my 11-year-old lights up like, oh yeah, right there. Yeah, I heard that. That's why I want a guitar. And I'm like, that's why I want to play this for you. I want you to hear that I think it's great music. And I want you to be a part of that. And you know what? When you're 20 years old and you've been playing guitar for 10 years now, and you have that influence in you, you're going to bring back a little bit of what I think's great. And I think what you guys are doing is fantastic because that's what I want for just for my child, and to see people like you doing the same thing, it just keeps hope in my heart that it's not dead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's one of the reasons why I think, true rock and roll will never die, and maybe it may be in a lull for a while, but it will always come back because I think at heart people have an ear for like talent and being impressed. And, so much stuff that comes out today is just so, below average to when you actually hear, like you said, like a killer drum beat or ripping guitar solo or screeching vocals, even regardless of if you're into that style of music or not, part of you will be taken back like, whoa, like that's some serious skill right there. And I think people still appreciate that.
It definitely, it's something you want to gravitate towards. One of my day jobs is I do session vocals to recreate like pop tunes and stuff. It's a way to get paid to sing, and I'm not exposed to stuff all the time. And it really does show like the little amount of effort, just even on a singing level, that all these pop singers have. Everything from Bieber to Imagine Dragons, I've had to recreate it note for note, and it's a paycheck, and it's a very easy paycheck because the amount of skill you need to recreate the vast majority of pop these days. And this is actually just pop versus pop, actually. 80s and 90s pop versus, 2000s and now is it's not even a comparison as well. Like the effort is not there.
Right. Yeah, pop music's almost become like a curse word nowadays. Where when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, pop music was actually pretty good. It wasn't a bad thing to like popular music back then because it was good stuff.
If I thought about it right now, I could probably name like 10 80s pop songs right off the top of my head. Do you think
easily.
20 20 years from now, anybody's going to be able to name even one pop song that's on the charts today?
Yeah, and also
years,
that's another thing
guarantee
about it too is a lot of these songs have such a short shelf life. Like
right.
somebody, one of my Facebook friends posted something about Gangnam Style on his Facebook, and it's just how quickly we've already forgotten about that song when just 12 months ago you couldn't shut the fuck up about it, and it's just already, what was that? Oh yeah, that was a thing. Remember that? And it's just where back then they wrote songs to last, you know.
Well, actually,
even the damn Macarena. Compare the Macarena to the Gangnam Style, you know? Even that had a better shelf life.
I was just saying people even still remember that more than the others.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
They will. And I guarantee you that you were wrong with what you said, that in 20 years that one person could not say 10 pop songs.
I said one.
All I'll have to do is say one phrase. Hey, baby, you got a fat ass. And that's 10 songs already.
I mean,
that's all I hear on the radio these days.
Exactly. You take someone like Michael Jackson, you take somebody like Prince, who were pop icons, but they had lyrics to their songs. They had meaning. Even Madonna. I mean, we're going early 80s, 90s. I mean, these are pop icons right here. But
I have Prince on my MP3 player right now. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not lying.
Back then, there was such an explosion of talent too that I think it really made a lot of people almost go outside of their level, because they had, in order to just stay afloat, they were like, I have to really write something really hard and catchy, because there was just so many, Michael Jackson, Paul Abdul, Madonna, all these people. Nowadays, everything's become so mediocre, and it always hilarious. It's amazing to me, like how many, like back then, if you made one faux pas, one bad music video, one bad performance, you're done. Look at what happened to like Billy Squier or like Milli Vanilli. Nowadays, every single day there's like some new embarrassing thing that happened, and they just like bounce back immediately because people are just so used to just like subpar
bullshit.
Right, and I think too that music like almost underestimates the intelligence of the audience these days. Where back then they actually gave the audience credit for being intelligent listeners and being able to discern good music from bad, to be able to figure out what a tone was or a note, or nowadays I think they just, whoever is crafting this shit just believes we're all bumbling morons and will just put up with anything they spoon feed us. Right.
For instance, like South Park said, the bar has been lowered. Like somewhere along the line, we lowered the bar.
Look at another good example was I was like recycling again. I was about to point that out where. Look at the number one, like one of the largest songs coming out in the last year or two was that the Nicki Minaj song. When I heard it, I was like, Sir Mix-a-Lot. That's the hook, is Sir Mix-a-Lot. Everything in that song.
The Black Eyed Peas song that has like Spin Me Right Round in it. Yeah, exactly. It's not just recycling. It's not just pop either. Look at that new Fall Out Boy song, which hooks like like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's recycled too.
Yeah.
That's been recycled several times.
Well, Tom's Diner, I think, is the name.
Another thing, it's I mentioned earlier that I work at a car dealership, and for some reason the general manager of the place insists on playing pop music through the speakers there, like current pop and everything, and I was listening, he's got it blasting, so you can't not listen to it, but that song, All About the Bass, came on, and
I sure know that one.
And actually, consider yourself lucky. But actually,
yes, you do, because I've heard it 100 times and it's stuck in my head as soon as you said it.
Sadly, I know that song too.
About that bass.
The DJ said the DJ comes on and I about wanted to scream at what he said. He said Beyonce actually had a chance to sing this song, but she turned it down, so that was good for so and so. And it's like, really, they're not even trying to hide the fact that these idiots don't write their own material.
Wow, that actually just heightened my respect of Beyonce, because even she knew this was garbage. Like,
I know.
She doesn't write her music either, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and there's a difference between. There's been a lot of bands, especially in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, who didn't write their own material, had been given material. I mean, or single artists who have sang, but they It is, but I mean, on top of it now, I mean, but even as you guys were talking with the pop music scene right now, it's such garbage. And in the rock music genre that's, up front and on stage right here, I mean, so much is so similar sometimes. You get a couple bands here and there that, make their own place. But, I mean, it has been dubbed down. There's no guitar solo. There's no big moments in it. It's all just fluid right there. Okay, we're going to play this right here, and we're either going to sound emo or we're going to sound this, and we're going to whine or we're going to talk about, there's just little things that there's no bass to bass. I mean, each song, there's no storylines to it.
I don't hear any memories. Like, okay, to give an example, when you listen to those songs from back in the day, you instantly have a memory of something, whatever it may be. And I hear a lot of these popular songs like, what memory is this going to conjure when you hear this lyric? What is that going to make you think of? I don't hear anybody saying, when I heard this song back in 2012, it just really made me think of whatever. And I don't really hear that a lot in the music these days. They're not, again, it's just not built to last. It's not meant to have a long shelf life. It's not meant to stay in the consciousness more than however long you're listening to it. And that's kind of sad. But I think, Will, the reason why they play that music at your job is so that they can buy a car to drive the fuck out of there and get away from that.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is. Well, like I was saying right there, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk over you guys, but I mean, honestly, the whole idea right there is, back in those 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, you had bands that gave you that moment right there. And since then, there's a lot of bands out there that's on the radio, but there's only 2 or 3 that really stick. Like Kid Rock. Everybody knows who Kid Rock is because he's made it his job to be an icon, to be a person. Whether his music is fantastic. He does not have the greatest voice in the world, but his music is out there, and people know exactly. When you hear him, he's the Bob Dylan of our era.
And there's even fewer bands out there that can actually be different and play by their own rules and still be successful, like Tool, for example. Or
I'd say Vince Sevenfold is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Tool's got a great bass player, I just have to say, and he didn't get shot yet.
But Tool's a '90s band, really. I mean, they made their fame back during the alternative era, really.
Yeah, but they're still one of those bands where they can just do whatever they want, and people will go with it, whatever it may be. And I think that's kind of what I meant there by what I was trying to say is there's just a small percentage of bands out there that can kind of get away with anything and still be very successful, and it's very rare.
Yeah,
especially
hold up now. Yeah. And you're right, but that's on popular radio. That's what's happening on popular radio. That's why we do what we're doing to get you guys on here to show them the real deal.
Yeah, and let's get back on track with I want to hear more about the band, and I want to hear the next song.
Absolutely.
So let's play the next song, and then we'll come back with Aries and hear more about them. I hear enough pop garbage every day at work.
Exactly.
Let me ask you guys. We're going to play real quick. When the World Needs a Hero. Do you guys have any backstory or anything to add to that, or anything you want the listeners to know about this song before we fire it up?
Lyrically, it's a pretty heavy tune. I was presented, I think, like the first part of this in a totally different kind of song from Sean when he sent me the riffs. I wrote the beginning of it for the most part when I was in a really difficult time, a period of my life. The rest of it, however, was after I'd done a lot of things that kind of I felt exercised a lot of demons for myself. So the song is actually more of a call and response. It's like a letter in response to myself over the course of maybe a year or 2 years. Not exactly about me, but metaphorically that was the main, I guess, inspiration lyrically.
Oh, wow, very cool. Well, let's check it out because I know you guys have not heard it. So, all right, let's do it. Aries, When the World Needs a Hero on the Will and Thunder Show. Rock out.
Times change, people
welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That, of course, was our guest Aries and their song "World Needs a Hero." That's another great song. And yeah, I've been neglecting my blog because I've been working so much over the past couple of months. But if you guys want to send me that album, I will review it.
You got it. That's no problem.
That is. I'm gonna use my favorite word. That is ridiculous good. That song right
Thank
there.
You.
I'm telling you right now, whoever is out there right now in Hollywood making that superhero video, that's your fucking theme song right there. Fuck Nickelback and whoever did that Hero to Save Me bullshit. That's the song you need.
That actually works a little for Veterans Day too. So
absolutely does.
It does. Definitely would.
But yeah, see, Will, I told you just a few days ago. Do you want this album to review on your blog? Oh, I haven't been on my blog in months. But
I haven't.
That last vocal bit right there at the end of the song, that little run that when you jumped up to the Empire State Building to hit that note. That little bit right, that was awesome, man.
Appreciate it, man. Took a little bit of a Sebastian Bach ending there. I think there was a little bit of 18 to Life at the end there, a little homage
it's awesome.
there.
Look,
Appreciate
do what you do, bro. Do what you do, brother, man. Don't stop that shit, man. That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
So tell me how the band got together, like how it came together from previous bands or whatever, and just how long you guys been together. Just give me the basic rundown.
Yeah, we started this, I would say roughly late 2007. It was me and this guitar player named Ted. He wrote a good chunk of the first album. Things kind of fell apart in 2008. I wasn't finding people that kind of shared my passion. And I left, worked in another power metal group for a little bit, built it again with Ted, got new members and stuff. And he just... things didn't quite work out. He decided he wanted to do something other than music. And thankfully, around that time, I was in another band, like a second band, with this gentleman here, Sean Rhodes. And him and I realized that, we were really getting along as writers quickly. Like, we wrote some of the tunes off the first album in something like maybe 30 minutes, like off and on. It was real quick. There was definitely a lot of chemistry there as writers. And after that, when Ted left, the band him and I were in weren't really gelling with our style of music. They wanted to kind of go more into they wanted to be a little more like, almost like Steel Panther kind of. And we were a little more serious about it. And it just was obvious what to do there. So he took over the reins as lead guitar player. And to be honest, I would say Rise is almost like a debut because the first album was not too focused. It was a lot of stuff that, some of the first songs I ever wrote with anybody. And you could tell that when Sean got on board, it was very kind of late in the game. And we didn't have as much time to compose a lot of the album. Where in this one, our creative, we had a lot of time to be very creative with this. Some of these songs are 3 years old, and I'm pretty sure Cradle to the Grave is among those. That's our final, kind of crescendo of the album. But
that song is fucking epic, by the way. I just had to throw it out there.
That's what we set out to do.
That's the idea. It was the giant magnum opus we had, and a lot of these had a lot of shelf life, and it gave us the time to review them, to tweak them, to really polish them up. I mean, Cradle to the Grave has some touches. I mean, everything we did, musically, lyrically, it went through the crucible. We really made sure whatever we released was great. And to top it off, we got a new engineer, a very excellent engineer named Matt Bittman. He's worked with guys from the Mars Volta, Iggy Pop, a lot of different artists. At a very, at a lot of, and it's a great studio called Right Way Studios. And the combination between Matt and us really hit it off. And on top of that, since the first album, we got a new drummer named Andy Hem. And
I was just about to bring that up. I felt like I write all of the music, and I felt like I was really being constrained. Like I really had to put the reins on my ideas because I had to work within the confines of not just the drummer but like our old bass players as well, because they weren't as really technically proficient as I had liked. And once we got Andy on board, I mean, right off the bat, like he, this machine gun double bass, and I was finally like, right, now I can get the Aries sound that I've wanted this whole time, like, not this like dulled down, Judas Priest, point of entry, soft rock, but more of like the, screaming for vengeance, in your face, balls to the wall, hard rock metal.
Yeah.
Who's the name of your bass player right now?
A guy named Tim Slack. He's very new to the band. He's played on a handful of songs on the album. That dude, he has an excellent stage presence. He has a great attention to detail. He's definitely the best one we've had yet. He's been a welcome addition to us.
I mean, you just listen to the bass lines in songs like Beware the Gun, which is like our second track, or like Angel of Mercy, like there's like the finale of that.
Mhm. Yeah, he's definitely a welcome addition to the band for sure. The whole rhythm section is improved, and not to mention the fact that for the bass and drums on this album, aside from The World Needs a Hero, The Road, and Dogs of War, which are the first three like real singles off the album, the remaining 9 songs we had 5 days to record all of that. I'd say about a day and a half was dedicated to the rhythm tracks, and that's not because we didn't take enough time on it. We did our homework, and we went in there with a very proficient band. Andy really is about 1 or 2 takes for these songs, and that's about it for him. He is an expert.
That's one thing. One of the main reasons I set out to do once I joined the band. Like, Aries was already around and established, but once I joined, I kind of talked to Rob and I was like, look, I like what you guys are doing, but like, here's how I want to do it. Like, I don't want us to be, the Steve and Joe show like in Aerosmith or something like that. I want to be a band like Iron Maiden, where whatever style of instrument you follow, you can listen to each section. Like, if you want to hear like a amazing, talented like vocalist, you got it. You want to hear like a ripping, lead guitar, Eddie Van Halen lead guitar player, you got it. A phenomenal Neil Peart drummer, damn, you got it. Awesome, sick bass lines, Steve Harris,
right, everybody's
Steve Harris. You just gain so much respect.
And that's what I wanted, because I feel like that's
Harris.
really lacking nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it is. You don't have bands
and
like
I can
that
actually
anymore.
hear that in your music, that everybody is showcased properly. Everything's in its place. Like, there's not.
We didn't want to be copious about it. We didn't want to like overdo it as well. Because you see that a lot. It's typically called prog metal, but joking aside, there's a time and place for a lot of the kind of stuff, and that's a whole other technique in itself, which is when it's time to play something, to showcase your abilities, and more importantly, there's a fine line between composing something that's intricate and composing something for the sake of showing off. And I would say that the album is a lot more the first, if anything.
And I love you for that, because you know what? I'm a bass player, and I love true bass. Like, and whether you play with a pick or not, I prefer bass players who play with their fingers. But anyway, it's the same thing like Billy Sheehan, who is one of the greatest bass players who ever walked out and said everything.
Thunder.
But he does not play.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Thunder. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
You're getting a little weak.
Are we having a Spinal Tap moment right now?
Yeah, always. The whole show's a Spinal Tap moment.
Yeah.
If you guys want to interview in British accent,
Should we take that as a cue to ask them about their Spinal Tap moments?
Yes, we should.
We might have had a few.
Yeah, we like to ask all of our guests about their Spinal Tap moments and everything, and we even have a little intro for it. Hit it, Chris.
I am frozen right now. I'm sorry. Oh my God, my computer is like frozen right now. Hold on.
No big.
There goes
my greatest Spinal Tap moment.
We start talking.
Yeah,
you're talking about me, man.
Worse.
And then we have one. Hold on, we gotta play the intro.
Do we have to?
These go to 11.
Oh yeah, you bet. Big bottom.
You
Yeah.
can't press that.
Spinal Tap, a second.
What's wrong with being sexy?
He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Dozens of people spontaneously
right, so let's hear your Spinal Tap moments.
All right, well, mine definitely, it wasn't with this band, sad to say. This was when I was younger. I was maybe like 18, I guess. But I was playing with that band, LA Guns. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them. Hopefully they don't hear this. Well, they were headlining, and we were backstage, and it's like me and all the other, members of the band. We're all a bunch of kids. And we opened the fridge backstage, and there's like all these like Heinekens in the fridge, and we're like, oh, cool, like, is this for us? We're underage, like, underage drinking, rock and roll. So we, like, drank, like, all these beers, and then, like, an hour or two later, like, LA Guns comes in, and they're like, yo, what's up, we're rock stars, and they open the fridge, and they're like, whoa, where's all of our beer? And we're just like, we don't know, dude, like, we're under 21, and they're like, oh, no, like, we don't have no beer.
That's a good one. We had one. We've been lucky enough to play with a couple big artists over the years. One of them was Dio Disciples, which is, if you guys don't know, Dio's band featuring Tim Ripper Owens, and
right.
We were having a pretty good set, really reactive crowd. It was a great night for us. However, we did a Judas Priest cover, and Sean and I were on point. The bassist at the time was on point, and the drummer started making some mistakes. And I was thinking, of anybody we've ever performed in front of to mess the tempo up or mess up the drums of any song we have on our catalog, a Judas Priest song, Tim Ripper Owens is the last guy on that list. It was pretty scary. I'm not sure you heard or not, but I was really hoping he was in the dressing room during that part.
And ironically enough, the drummer then immediately exploded on stage, which coincidentally enough.
Yeah.
What song was it?
You Got Another Thing Coming. Not exactly the hardest song in the catalog to play on the drums.
Yeah, not like Painkiller or anything.
No, which is another reason, that's a guitar vocal song really. So Sean and I, ironically enough, we're the guys nailing the hard stuff, and the drums are just like, it's like, what are you doing, dude? How could you mess? How are you messing that up?
Well,
so he's not with us anymore. He died.
He died of a bizarre gardening accident.
Yeah, right. Choking his own vomit.
Vomit. Well, we Thunder and I have been in several bands over the years. We have had not only a Spinal Tap moment. We've had one that actually happened in the movie.
Really?
Care to take a stab at which one it was?
Do you have the Stonehenge and Midget?
Getting lost?
It was not Stonehenge, no.
That was a different band.
Hello, Cleveland?
No.
He was just getting lost backstage. I mean, I've been there a couple times. Not quite as bad, but that was the first one I'd go to. Or unless you guys were using pods on stage and one of your guys got stuck in it.
Nope. We were playing this show. We at this point we were a 5-piece. I was the lead singer, and we had 2 guitar players in the band. Well, we had this one guitar player that didn't like to, that he thought he would, just didn't like to show up for practices. Well, we had at one of the practices that he missed, and I was always playing guitar in his absence during practices. So we wrote this song at a practice like the night before a show, and he's like, well, two practices before the show. He shows up at the practice before the show. He's like, oh, I'll get it, no problem. So we start playing this song live, and of course he doesn't get it. He's fucking it up on stage left and right. And then all of a sudden he gets pissed, rips his guitar off, and throws it down on stage and storms out of the building.
Hey, that's fun. Yeah, that was a good one.
So we finished the show without him, and became a 4-piece after that, and that's when the band really clicked.
Right,
funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're one of the few people
actually,
that actually had a Spinal Tap moment.
The exact same thing happened to us at a show, only we didn't have the luxury of our guitar player storming off. We used to be a 5-piece as well. Our guitar player didn't even show up for the show.
That one.
Nice.
Yeah. That was the easiest firing I've ever dished out.
Look, you're fired. No, you're not fired because you're not here, so yes, you're fired.
Bye. He was gone. I was so embarrassed because the sound guy's looking at me going, hey, how many guitars do you have? And I told him I don't know. And he got mad at me.
So horrible.
And when he got mad at me, it was like, because the thing is, we were giving this guy a lot of rights to practices. We really were like bending over backwards to make sure he could make stuff. We were nice to the dude, and it was not an easy trip. Like, we had to go across the Bay Bridge, which includes tolls and stuff. It's about a 35-minute long drive, one direction, and about 50 minutes up to practice. So we really busted our butt. We tried checking with him all day long. We really did our best to make sure he'd show up. And he said he had it under control. And again, we checked with him often to make sure he could make it. He didn't have to drive. Half the time, he didn't even have his own equipment. And at that point, he just did no call, no show. And his response was, well, I thought Sean could have handled it on his own. Well, that's not exactly a surprise that you should just spring on somebody.
No, not at all. Especially when you're doing a show right there, and you got parts right there, and you got involvement, and the same thing with us, right? I mean, the rest of our set was set for the other guitar player, but luckily enough, Will knew the songs enough and had played guitar that he could fill in, and he did right. You know, we kicked ass that night. I mean, the best we could.
There you go.
But I mean, it's the same thing right there. You guys, when you're left right there, you're like, what do you do now?
Right, and that was usually when it comes to firing people. If we ever do have to get there, which it's only happened to me once or twice, if we do end up having to do it, it's after a talk with them or another talk, or we're very lenient about that stuff. And for a change, I thought to myself, I can't argue with myself here. He's gone. He didn't show up. Bye.
Right, exactly.
Right.
As lenient as you could be right there, and you don't show up for a gig right there, and at least, God bless America, at least it was a second guitar player, so you had one to back up. If it was the bass player or the drummer or the singer right there, okay, we're instrumental tonight, so enjoy the show.
You murder him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys got a big show coming up at the Treehouse on the 19th, don't you?
Yeah, Treehouse Nights. It's our first time in D.C. in about 6 years. Our very first show was in October of 2008 in D.C., and ever since then we've never played D.C. again. It just was, our scene was always Baltimore. Wherever we toured, we always wanted to go further than D.C. because it really was more in our backyard. And so we decided it's time to go back. So on the 19th, it is our first show in a long time since our first DC9 show there.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's Veterans Day. That's our capital right there, and that's your next show, or your big show that you're voicing out on your website right there.
I think I got bits of that one. I'm not sure if I heard the whole thing.
I said, well, that right there, with being Veterans Day and everything, you're going back to D.C. right there, the home of our country right there, and
yep.
You guys going back there, it's kind of a neat concept right there. You're kind of throwing it back together right there. I don't know if you guys did it on purpose, but if you didn't, it worked out.
Oh, I mean, we're definitely going to take that "When the World Needs a Hero" suggestion to heart. Really,
like that one,
pump that out, yeah.
Thunder, every time you talk, I hear a beeping in the background. Did you get abducted by the aliens again?
No, I keep hearing the beeping too, but that's not on my line.
Not on mine.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm having another Spinal Tap moment because
are they monitoring?
I keep having problems with technology tonight, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm telling you right now. I mean, I hear the same thing you guys are talking about right there, and I was wondering, I didn't know if it was in the background between.
There it was again.
There it is.
There, I just heard it again.
Wait, I think I know what it is.
I'm
going to get down to the bottom of this. I have a theory, so I'll come back to you when I have confirmed what I think about it.
It's Don Dockin. Every time I talk, he wants to beat me out.
Because you're a bass player.
I think it's...
If you guys didn't hear the beginning of the show...
Thunder,
shut up.
Just tell me, I don't know, just say something, because I think it's like it has something to do with you.
Me?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with my phone right here. I mean, it's not beeping. I mean, it might have, but I'm talking right now. It's not beeping. I'm telling you, it's fucking Don Dokken right here trying to fuck me up because I told him I'm going to come whoop his ass for firing his bass player, that son of a bitch.
You are so bitter. I mean, he didn't fire you.
Yeah, but the way he did it, that was bullshit, you know? Anyway. And see, it hasn't beeped yet, so it's not me. And look, as soon as you guys hear something wrong on the radio, who do you blame? The bass player.
The bass player.
Just like that way.
Yeah.
Actually, I blame myself because I'm always having some sort of technological breakdown over here for some weird reason. I don't know why, but I just now finally got all my windows open after, 10 minutes ago when I got kicked offline and all this other stuff.
I was just in here talking to the band about their next gig where they're playing in D.C. and everything and all that. I'm trying to be a good radio host for you. Hey, and guys, you know what? Thank you guys for being patient because, you know, this is what happens on our show right here.
No big.
Well,
it's been a fun time.
I have a question. Are you guys having fun tonight?
Oh, yeah. Man. You bet.
All right, this is not your average radio show, is it?
We have to make a brief announcement real quick because it's we're about to go into overtime.
Can I drum roll? Can I do a drum roll?
Sure, go ahead.
Do a drum roll. Let's hear a drum roll.
Yeah. Basically, in 90 seconds, the show is gonna end. However, that does not mean the show's over. It just means that we're out of broadcast time. The show's still going to continue, and for those of you listening, you'll be able to hear the show in its entirety, and I'll have it up on YouTube sometime tomorrow. So that's the announcement. So don't freak out. Don't think that the show's gone or whatever when it goes silent in about a minute.
Yeah, the live version of the show is about to end.
We're going to go to the after dark version of the show when we start talking porn and all that.
Bow.
Right.
Anyway.
I know we all agreed we wouldn't watch our porn until after the show, but...
Well, I got to take my pants off now?
Oh, please
I'm just kidding. All right,
hey,
guys.
I don't want to know about the Thunder Midget, okay? I don't want to know that.
That's not the Thunder Midget right there. They call me Little Bighorn.
Oh, no.
Yes, I said it on the radio and I promised myself one day that would happen.
Great. All right. You know, I actually wanted to ask you guys, because you were talking about playing your show in D.C., are you guys planning to travel further out? And because I'm finally going to get to see a Sound of Thunder on Friday, so I'm hoping maybe someday we'll get to see you guys, too.
Yeah, we're definitely looking into doing that. We've branched out a few times. We've played Chicago, New Haven, Connecticut. We've played Richmond, Virginia, Springfield, Virginia. We just got done playing Ohio, and we're working on it. It's just we're just trying to figure out where to go. We're all we're new to this. We don't have a manager. I handle all the business operations of our band, so it's definitely something we're pushing pretty hard for. It's just a case of just how we do it.
Are you guys prepared?
I know. What?
Are you guys prepared to travel? Do you guys have the vehicles to throw your equipment in and get to anywhere you want to go?
Yeah, we usually use 2 SUVs, but at the moment we're looking at other options. There was a band we met in Ohio called Kira. They have a pretty fun business model. They bring their guitars and whatnot, but they rent instruments when they fly somewhere really far away. Like they just did Dallas recently. They're going to LA soon. They're more, I think I can't where they're from. I think they're was it New Mexico? I forgot exactly where they're from. They're Midwest. But long trips they have are out. They're done via plane, and I figured that might be a business model we might follow. It's a lot of planning, but at the moment, traveling, we usually use 2 vehicles, and it seems to get the job done.
Very cool.
What's the farthest you guys have gone using those vehicles? I mean, you talking 100, 200 miles, or to the Chicago? I mean, that's a good run right there from where you guys are at in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was like 16 hours.
It was a long while.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I know a club where I'm at here in Tennessee that is a good rock club that really prefers kind of local style bands. You heard of the band Full Double Jacket?
No.
That sounds awesome, but I've not heard of them. No.
The band Full Double Jacket?
No, I can't say I have.
I mean, they're a pretty decent sized band, and their lead singer's from the area I'm in right now, and him and some friends have opened a club here, and they bring bands in from all over the place.
Oh wow!
And it's
What's it called?
bands like you guys that they want to bring it in, give some eyes to, get them out in the public, and I mean it's something to look into right there. But I'll keep your contact information and try and get with you guys. Huh?
We'd love to. Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's been a good work for us.
Yeah, I'll talk with them and try and get some information to them and get in contact with them so you can get up there. I mean, they've had bands from all over the place. It's kind of like what we're doing on the radio. They're trying to do it in a club atmosphere right there and bring bands in and let them, spread their music. So
that's all.
I wish more clubs were like that where I am, but it seems like we have a terrible rock metal scene where I live in Central California. It sucks. Like, the most metal band to come out of here is Korn. We actually have a street named after them and everything, and yeah, the whole 9 yards and all that. But it's really hard to book bands out here. We haven't had a metal gig since Judas Priest came here 3 years ago. I mean, that's how bad it is.
Are you ready for a joke right now?
Sure.
What?
If you get out of that can.
Thunder, are you broadcasting from a trash can?
I am. Literally, look. Anyway, I had a really stupid joke, but it popped in my head as soon as
out again, Thunder?
He's got like
No. I'm actually in the house tonight for the first time.
Did you talk about Steven Tyler again?
No, I did not talk about Steven Tyler tonight. I know better now. All right, I'll leave it alone. I won't tell you my joke. Anyway.
Well, go ahead.
Everybody lives on Corn Street. They have mailboxes, those cornholes.
Actually, it's not really a street. It's just like a little pathway behind the back of the venue where all the bands play, and it's called Corn Row.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. It's true story. There's no mailboxes, no houses.
Made my joke sound even stupider, so it's okay. But anyway.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but yeah, that's all there is to it. It's
okay.
Like
it's all good. It's all right.
Now, so you guys have been together since like 2007, you said. Have you been contacted by any type of label or anything, even for something like a compilation CD or something like that?
Well,
we have actually had a few endorsements and a record label or record offer thrown our way, but we were actually in the midst of recording this album, and what they wanted, I'm not going to say it's a scam, but what they wanted to do, they basically wanted to pay for our whole album, and we would have to pay out a large stipend of it, basically like a 50-50 type deal, and then, if it sells well, we get it all back. But we were already done like almost a third of our album, and we were like, well, here are our terms, like, we'll do it like this if we, this and this, and they're like, no, it's all or nothing. And we were just like, okay, it's nothing.
Okay, nothing.
Yeah, the details of the deal wasn't very friendly to us. I think they were trying to they were trying to seize bands that were a little more starry-eyed than us, and I don't think they expected us to read the contract. The reason I say this is when I was emailing them back trying to get more details about the deal, just trying to figure things out, they kept saying, non-negotiable, this, and I kind of had to act like I was interested to get the contract, and upon reading it, I actually went to Sound of Thunder to get a second opinion, and they were basically on the same boat as we were. It would have been some good promo for sure. Like, they had some contacts. They had a nice, sizable Facebook page. I think they were like 7,000 to 10,000. We're about approaching 4 at the moment. It would have been a little beneficial. However, the fine print is where they wanted to get us. And right off the bat, if someone wants to give you an offer, and the moment you start asking questions, they immediately start threatening to take it away, that right off the bat is a red flag. But
yeah, exactly.
On the brighter side, our drummer actually is in talks of getting an endorsement from a very famous snare drum. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to sour it, but he actually just got back like a few weeks ago. He flew out to their main manufacturing place out in California, and he did like a tour and all that stuff. And so like he's definitely in talks with them now. And I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to jinx it or whatever, but he's definitely got like the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He's got some nice contacts around there too.
It has to do with a pig. I'll say that.
I'm gonna let you know something right now, guys. It's not me saying this. It's the truth. We are a magical show.
Yes, we are. We have brought bands together and put bands on the Billboard charts. We don't have proof of that, but we feel that it is true. We do magical things.
Well, we do have.
Honestly,
we reunited a band.
Not even to like diminish what you guys are doing because it's great. I love it. But if just one person can hear our song tonight, that's it's been worth it to me.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, here's the best thing right here. It's the best advertisement. You come on our radio show right here. It's going to be on YouTube tomorrow or the next day, and you can put this interview, and they can get to know you guys as you guys, not just the band, not just your music, but what you guys feel, what's in your heart, what you guys are saying right now, and that's priceless right here.
Mm-hmm. This is the first for us to interview this long and in depth for sure.
Well, the thing is, you know what? Well, and I know we've talked about this. We shouldn't talk about this because this is what we do, though. This is our idea right here. Is we want to be the guys that you want to talk to, and we want to talk to you so everybody can hear who you are.
I mean, it sounds
like
it. It actually sounds like you guys aren't just filling up airtime with some nobodies. You actually sound like you have a legitimate like you actually care about the local scene and actually like getting bands out there, and I think it's really, really genuine. And I think like a lot of people hear that, and that's why you have such a huge fan base.
That's our idea right here. And on top of that, here's the deal, man. When I was a kid, you had college-based radio that played local bands, and you got to know the people who were around you by listening to college radio. That's no longer a thing now. And the whole music industry has changed so much, and it's so confined to what everybody or the music industry wants you to hear. You don't get the freedom to hear bands like you guys right here, and we want to give that out there to the rest of the public right here. It's not us doing this, it's you guys.
Right.
It's us just being a vehicle to get you guys out here to say, you know what, hey, you don't have to listen to this right here. You don't have to listen to Justin Bieber and, this garbage out here. There's true musicians out here who are out there busting their ass. Here's what it is right here, and enjoy it. Open your eyes.
Yeah, that's why I joined this show, because it's all about sharing love of the music. I don't get paid to do any of the stuff I do, writing reviews or doing interviews or anything that I do. I don't get paid for any of it. I do it because I love the music and I believe in the bands and think what they're doing is great and want more people to know about what's going on, and that's why I do it. And that's why I joined this group here, because these are two guys that also feel the same way that I do. We want to share the love of this music, and we're not looking for glory or profit or anything like that. We just want to share what the music that we love and think is great, and we think you guys are great, and all the bands that we've had on here we think are great. So,
yeah, thank you. I heard a business model a long time ago, which I think can be applied. If you're in the business of making money, you're going to fail. But if you're in the business of like providing a service or product that people will like enjoy, and in the business of making people happy, then you will succeed. And I think that can apply to as a band, a business, anything. Like as long as your heart's in it and you're just doing it because you're doing what you love and you want other people to love what you're doing, then you'll succeed.
Hey,
it's like that old saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to play something from last week because I promised our guest last week that I would play it on the very next show, and this is a little promo that we made from our guest last week.
Called the Will and Thunder Show.
No, let's do hold on before you play it.
I just
I
started.
thought we were going to wait till the end.
No.
Huh?
Play it right now.
Well, you got to get a little, setup to it of who it is and the whole idea behind it. It's kind of cool.
You don't remember who we had on last week, Thunder?
I know who we had on last week, and we talked about this right before the show started. I just think we could have a little setup so the listeners will know what's going on here.
I think they'll figure it out once they hear it.
Go ahead.
It's called the Will and Thunder Show. Okay, cool. And it's the Will and Thunder Show. Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Moore, and you are listening to the Will and Thunder Show.
That's awesome.
We actually could have saved that for the end since we don't have an outro right now.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, we're starting to get more national bands booked, which is awesome, which is gonna help take this show to another level once we can get them in. But I mean, we're not gonna forget about the the unsigned bands out there either. We're not gonna.
Right.
So I mean, we're.
Well, since you played that, I have a quick announcement too. I just I got a message from my dear friend Cedric Hay, who is a very talented musician that is from here in my neck of the woods. He just agreed to maybe write some new outro music for us. And
sweet.
Yeah. So he'll get it to me ASAP. I mean, this guy is he auditioned for Evanescence actually when what's his name? I hate that band, but whatever that guy's name was that left, he actually auditioned for them after he left, and thank God he didn't get the job just because I could never promote a band that I hated. But it would have been like a horrible catch-22 for me because I love him as a musician, but I hate them.
Well, I mean, if he wants to, I mean, I'm open. I'm open for a new intro too. I mean, we've had the same intro for over a year now, so.
Actually, I love our intro right there. I mean, it might be a little tweaked right there, but it's the Will and Thunder Show, and the William Telltale overture right there is kind of our peak right there. And I think that needs to stay for a while. But anyway,
no, I mean
guys
the
from Aries, Rob,
music.
Sean. Oh, hello. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I just said it's the outro music, Thunder, at the end, not the beginning.
Yeah. Well, Will said that he think of the intro too. But anyway, Rob and Sean, man, thank you guys so much for taking some time out, man, and giving up your time to be a part of this show right here. And thank you for taking your time and your heart and put it into your music. I mean, that means a lot right there. When you can sit there and, as I said, you're taking the best of the past and trying to mix it with the future right there. I love the sounds, the styles. It's awesome right there.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, definitely. We'd love to come back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks you guys for coming onto the show. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad that we finally got you guys in here because I've been waiting for a while to get you guys in here to talk about the music, and you guys just are doing some awesome shit, and I can't wait to hear the rest of what you guys have got going on. And are you working on any new stuff right now, or?
Yeah, we're actually working on a new album. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
We're going to be devoting a lot of December to songwriting. We have nothing on the books yet. We're probably going to use a lot of that month to not have many shows, if any at all, and just really focus on the new album. We have a title. We have an imagery theme for it. We have a lot of the music is for the most part written. I got to catch up with this dude in the lyrics. We got 1, maybe 2 songs finished in that regard. But the new album, we're giving it a title. It's called Noir. The imagery for it, like the cover and everything, we're trying to go like it's a little bit influenced by the idea that Iron Maiden's albums each had a theme to it. Not so much musically, just thematically with the design of it, the look of it, and to a degree the production. But to be honest, the production kind of had its own life that was almost a little separate from the title and the coloring. But we wanted to go a little different, something that's not so not very convoluted, not very seen often. We're trying to look for almost like a very film noir, almost like Sin City kind of look. And
nice.
It's ambitious. It's ambitious stuff, and we're just looking to take everything that made Rise good, and just go somewhere, you know, and just be ambitious with it, to do bigger and better. So the next one, we have some really fancy stuff we've written, and we might be recording a song or two as a nice little teaser coming up.
That's awesome.
Nice. Are you guys gonna do another Kickstarter like you did with the last one that I missed and didn't get to donate to?
Oh yeah. The fans
cool.
were so helpful getting that album out of the way. We raised about $200 over our goal of $3,500. We're probably gonna need a little more for this next one, because with Rise, we actually did a little cramming, and it worked though, because it helped us really charge ourselves to go into that studio and knock it out. For this next one, we're going to be a little more gradual with the recording process. We're going to let the songs grow a little bit, trying to add things on, and just take our time with the production as well to make sure everything is perfect.
We have a lot of big ideas for this one. Like we just dropped it the other day. Like we are going to be working with some the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra.
Wow.
We met with a few of them recently. I did a show with them over the weekend. It was like a rock opera concert kind of show, and a number of them have expressed interest in wanting to get into more rock performances. I can't name names yet because, to be honest, I met with a lot of them, and they have so much fun doing rock opera music that they were like, well, we wanted to go in the studio, and I'd love to record this kind of stuff. I got a viola player and a couple other people. And so we got to talking. I gave them, our CD, and that's what's going on at the moment. That's one of the things we're hoping is going to pan out. We had a little bit of cello, and When the World Needs a Hero, we had some piano and Cradle to the Grave. And for the next album, it's those things worked. And I know that if we applied them to the next level, creatively, tastefully, it would work quite well. So that was a really fun experience meeting those guys and introducing them to Aries. The rock opera stuff, it's a love of mine. It's really, really, really fun. But Aries has always kind of been, home.
You did the Sweeney Todd with Nina, right?
Yeah, that's right. I worked with Nina in that one. Nina's been all over the place the last 2 or 3 years, just doing different operas. I've been about 5 or 6 of them. I got Nina on board. I've worked with Cassandra Syndrome's Irene Jericho. It was a lot of fun. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but yeah, it's a different experience because working with Nina before, it was a vocalist to a vocalist and band to band, and we're going kind of going to work up there. With the Sweeney Todd experience, you're backstage, you're joking around, you're really getting to know these people on a different level, and it was great promo. A lot of people got to know what Aries was afterwards.
And that's what it is. That's what it all is. It all comes back to Aries with us. And even though we just finished this album, we didn't want to really pat ourselves on the back about it. Like, yeah, we were proud of what we did, but we all just kind of like asked ourselves, what's next? We're
exactly.
Here we have this thing, but we need it bigger and better.
Right.
That's awesome.
We had a little bit of that going on with the first album before we got this definitive Aries lineup, which is what we have now. Before it didn't have the focus we needed once we released A Time to Kill. A Time to Kill, we love the album. There's a lot of great memories there. A lot of our fans like the album a lot. But when we were done, it wasn't as focused as this album. And now since we walked into the studio, and each of us walked in there as a real expert in our craft, to the songwriting ship, into what we wanted to deliver, we watched this thing practically be created in 5 days, something we're very, very proud of. Once we were done, we all kind of collectively thought, man, what would happen if we really got to sit down with this one as opposed to, doing homework and allowing this chaos to create this monster, which is Rise. We all thought, what would happen if we did it differently? If we paced ourselves, if we really fine-tuned this next album.
And experimented, really experimented with what we wanted.
Right, and we had some nice stuff. Cradle to the Grave, again, if you listen to the album, that final tune, there are up to even 6, 7, 8-part vocal harmonies in it. There's almost virtually choirs of guitars in there. it's huge stuff. And we did that in practically like a few days, maybe.
Not even like a day.
Right.
A day.
Right, and it was no time at all. So when we were done the album, my reaction was, oh my God, imagine if we were able to sit down with this. Good God. And that's kind of where we are at the moment. So yeah, definitely a Kickstarter.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I can't wait to contribute to that.
Man, I'm telling you right now, you guys are wide open, man. Just listen to the way you talk about your music right there. You have so much passion right now. I mean, just talking that moment right there of how, again, it took us 5 days, and you're so wide open and ready to go, man. The hunger, I can taste it.
Yeah, it's because deep down, this is, we're four guys who are doing what we love. Like, do we want to make it? Do we want to be, Aerosmith or whatever, playing the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Who doesn't? Anyone who says they don't is lying. But, at the end of the day, like, we're musicians, we're performers, and we just want to go out on stage and just do our thing. And hopefully people can get in on the ride.
We were really, we were incredibly proud of this album. I remember when I finished the giant one, Cradle to the Grave. When I finished the vocals on it, we were practically done. I think we had like maybe one or two little punches here on guitar. I think I did one extra layer a couple days later. But when I was done, like I felt like this mad scientist, and this creation has come to life that we put together. I remember the first thing that I'm driving home, I call my girlfriend, and I'm just like, it's done. This giant thing that we weren't sure like how it would sound in a studio, but we knew it was this freak of nature tune. And when we were done, when the album itself was finished too, I don't think there was a musical accomplishment I've done that is quite like it, in terms of, just how proud I was. I mean, we've all done a lot of cool things, but my God, this album,
we're fans first of our music, first and foremost.
I understand
every day.
Yeah, you've got to be your own biggest fan, really, in this day and age. To promote yourself, you have to be your biggest cheerleader.
Well, the thing is, when you're working that hard and you finally hear the end aspect right there, and you're not the player, but you're the listener, and you hear that at the end, and you're like, wow, really, is that me right there doing that?
Yeah.
I have a VHS tape. Yeah, exactly, a VHS tape. And I hate to say that because, that's about 30 years old. But anyway. But actually, this was from about 15, 20 years ago when Will and I was in a band. And I was playing bass in this video. And I was watching myself play the bass. And I'm like, wow, I'm pretty good right there. Because I've always judged myself on a heavy hand. You know what I mean? I always look at myself going, you know what, you could be better. You could be better. What you're doing is okay, but it's not that good. And I watched this video and I looked at myself.
Absolutely.
And I thought, I'm pretty good right there. And Will has always, has been my guitar player for years, or a singer in the band, and he's always told me, you're one of the greatest bass players I've ever played with right there. And I saw it for one moment on this video right there that I was actually playing bass that well. It was amazing to me. But still, when I grab a bass and I go to play or I go to do something, it's always that thought, I could be better, But when that one moment right there, just like when you had that CD done and you hear it for the first time, all that work that you put in there, and you hear yourself, and you're the listener versus the player, and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
how
an
many people can
amazing
actually
feeling
say,
right there. Exactly.
How many people can actually say, like, hey, here's an album of all, like, that's me on there. I mean, we're living the dream right now, I think.
That's your heart right there. And that's your heart.
Well,
and
you can't buy it.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people out there who are the buyers of the albums think that you do it for them, which you do to an extent. But at first and foremost, you're doing it because it's your emotion right there. What you're playing, what you're singing, how you're singing it, how you're portraying your music, it's your emotion. It's for you first. It's about what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And when you hear it back and you're like, oh, yeah, I understand myself right here, everybody else will understand what I'm feeling. And that's a kind of cool thing right there. I mean,
people resonate. It resonates with people when you're real like that, when you're honest, and you put it all out there, and have no boundaries. You know, you're just like, this is what it is, and if you like it, fine. If not, then whatever. And people will respond to that.
I mean, whenever we finish a new tune, we all kind of like collectively get together and listen to it, and we say to ourselves, you know, is this music that we would want to hear? You know, is this something that we would be into? You know, if we were just out on the street. That's why I joined the band to begin with. You know, I saw them playing at a club, and I said, you know, that should be me up there. And
yeah, and that's what makes you guys. That's what makes you guys so cool, man. And I have a quick question, real quick. How did you come up with the name Aries? I know it's a zodiac sign right there.
Yeah, there's a little.
Is that the basis behind it?
No, you know, we actually try to stay a little bit away from like making it like to really make references to that. It was a pretty simple reason we named it back in 2007. The original guitar player and I we had a lot of chemistry together. Like a lot of the stuff off album 1, Pearly Gates, stuff like that. It was a lot of fun working with the guy, and you know, I hope him the best in whatever he's doing these days. We try to keep in touch here and there, but back when we worked together, we were a hell of a team. I would say, you know, until 2011, 12, I really hadn't worked with anybody I clicked with that well. And
so you guys were good until...
Rob. I'm standing right here, Rob. Jeez.
Well, so you guys were good until 11.
It's like he's cheating on me right on the air in front of everyone.
But yeah, you know, we had a good. It was a lot of good chemistry. We wrote a lot of good stuff, and kind of the end, his effort wasn't really what it used to be. He was kind of more going into different kind of styles and whatnot. But you know, more importantly, what was weird about that was, you know, here we were this great team. We were making this music. We really had this, you know, vision. And it turned out that this guy and I met him on Craigslist. I didn't know this dude. It turned out that both he and I had the exact same birthday on the exact same day on the exact same year. And,
wow.
Right. And so at that point he suggested, well, I guess that makes us both Aries. So that's where the name kind of comes from. It wasn't because of like, you know, we had this, you know, fascination with Zodiac's symbolism or something like that, which is the reason why we allude to it sometimes in our imagery, but it's not something you're going to hear much in lyrics, something like that. That's how it came to be, and there was no reason to fix it.
Yeah. Well, I always figured it was because you were an Aries, but you know, and I am a huge astrology buff, so I obviously loved the name of your band and all that. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool, and the story you just told about you know, being born on the same day and all that. Because I'm such an astrology buff, I thought that was a very cool aspect of it, because it's very seldom you get to meet people born on the same day.
Even cooler, me and Rob both have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm just
really?
kidding. I'm just kidding. That'd be cool, though, right?
That would be awesome right there.
If we're talking astrology and stuff, with the little I know about it, I don't know too much about it, but back when we made the name and all that, I looked a little more into it, and apparently Aries isn't a great combo. There's a lot of butting heads going on. But I think whatever sign Sean's got, it's like some sort of fire sign, which is a lot better than having... Right, and I'm sure you can verify this, that's actually a lot easier in terms of getting along as opposed to Aries, you know, killing each other.
Yeah, I do. But you know what, though? I noticed that with every sign, that sometimes either they really get along perfectly with each other or they're the worst enemies. Like, I would never... Myself, I'm a Libra. I would never go out with a Libra guy. To me, they're just not masculine enough. And I've been with an Aries guy for 19 years, and I feel like that's the only sign that's, like, man enough to handle me, because just, like, they don't put up with any... I don't put up with their shit, and they don't put up with my shit, and that's why we get along
badass,
so
I guess.
Well, you see, now
we know the reason why we have... And look, guys, I didn't know this beforehand. I didn't know the preconceived notion right there, because your name and her man had the same sign right there.
That's how it all happened. That's how we're on here.
I dated a girl years ago who had my same birthday, although she was 4 years younger than me. And I'm a
Crater
Virgo.
Robert.
And my wife is 10 years younger than me. So what are you saying?
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you change your diaper? I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
You know what? I don't appreciate that because my boyfriend's 12 years older than me, and I'm going to have to jump in and just, talk to him.
All right, well, look at you. Look at you right there.
I like a sophisticated older man, so what?
But
I'll be there shortly.
This girl that I dated that had the same birthday as me, we couldn't have been more opposite. I mean, I'm cluttered, but I'm not messy. She was a slob. Oh my God. And when it comes to the other things that Virgos are known for, like our how should I word this? Like our incredible
extracurricular activities.
Extracurricular activities.
Well, I was Virgo-like. She was not. Let's just put it that way. I mean, there's I couldn't believe it. We had the same damn birthday, and so it's like while I
goes
agree,
into the natal charts, and one of these days, maybe on our next Halloween episode, I'll do your charts because that's one of my extracurricular activities, and I love doing them, but I just don't have the time to do it anymore. But once
really?
fun,
Chris and Black loves. Look, hey Chris, there's something that we don't know about you, but now that we know that you love extracurricular activities of that kind.
Oh yes, I'm just But yeah, maybe that's our next Halloween episode.
Look, I look at you in a totally different mindset now. Anyway,
Thunder, you always have to make it about that, don't you?
No, I did not make it about anything.
Trying
you
to be
said
nice.
it.
I was just
being
being classy.
Sexual.
Thunder show.
I'm always a bad guy.
You're the bass player. All right, we're gonna
just shoot me. Just shoot me.
So do you shoot your bass players?
Right.
Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for being on, guys. And I wanted to know, we're going to play that last song as our outro since we currently don't have one. But I wanted to know if after that was over, if I could call you real quick.
Sure.
Okay, it'll be a 910 area code. But yeah, thanks for coming by. I love what I've heard, and like I said, I want to review the album. Maybe that'll motivate me to get back going with, get my blog going again. but that was some incredible music. You guys are great guests and everything, and we're honored to have you on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Honor is us, definitely, man.
Yeah.
You guys are great hosts. It's a great show. Thunder, you're hilarious.
Yeah. And it's also really welcoming, Like this is we've had a couple of reviews in the past where it just kind of felt like they were just some cue cards, and we were just kind of going through motions.
Remember, like in Wayne's World, where they're talking to the guy, and he's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we can say whatever we want right now.
Right.
Well, you
And
guys were really fun to
welcoming.
talk to. Anyway, you guys just kind of took the ball and ran with it, and we didn't really have to. We just got to kick back and listen to you guys tell your story and shoot the breeze with us. So you guys were so much fun. Because sometimes we get guests, like, they're great guests, but sometimes they run out of things to say, or they're not really sure what direction they want to go with the discussion. You guys did not have that problem, so that was awesome.
And honestly, sometimes it's like pulling teeth. I mean, sometimes it's like pulling teeth. You're like, oh, so what are you guys doing next? We might be going to the studio, and we might be writing a song. And okay, well, what's the next song you're gonna write? I don't know. Sometimes it gets redundant right here, but you guys have been fun tonight, man. You guys are live. You're wired. You know which direction you want to go. You know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to tell us about the fun stuff right there. It's not the mundane bull crap right there, and that's what we love about, getting bands like you guys on here, man. Your music alone is fantastic and not mundane, and it's new, fresh, with an old kick on there. And your interview was the same way, man. I'll tell you what, this show right here from start to beginning with us having a little bit of intro with our, doing our veterans thing and, jumping things up and crazy. And you guys being on here and being, just wide open as you are and being real is, that's what we want to do. And we appreciate you guys being on the show, man.
We love to be back.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You guys
and
were a
we'd
blast.
love to have you back.
I couldn't think of a better band to spend National Metal Day with, honestly, because you guys were just so much fun.
Oh,
I agree.
Over that.
The last
There was
song
a lot
we're
of fun
going to
dissing
play
pop music
is
with you guys.
oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was a lot of fun dissing pop music with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
For National Metal Day.
Yes, of course. What else are you going to do on National Metal Day?
Right.
But, of course. But the last song of the night we're going to play is Beware the Gun. So do you guys, I noticed in your bio it said something that the song was about vigilantism or something like that. Do you have a story or any inspiration to where the lyrics came from? Or inspired by?
Are we allowed to say it without getting sued?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you, we're on internet radio right now, so you can say whatever you want. So if you want to say the F word or whatever, you can say whatever you want to. You don't have to worry about getting sued.
This is more for like copyright stuff. I mean, we were inspired by we're big comic books fans, and lyrically it was inspired. I mean, it was actually more fun to see which guys. It was I guess loosely inspired by a famous vigilante or two. A couple came to mind.
Spiky ears or.
Let's just say this song isn't about revenge. It's about punishment.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. There's actually a cool story to the riff, right? You're watching a TV show.
Actually, yeah. I don't know if you guys ever remember that show King of Queens with the fat guy or whatever. But there was like an episode where he learns to play guitar and he writes this horrible song that's just dun 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 Doug and Carrie, and like the whole joke is like, man, what a terrible riff. And I heard that and I was like, hey, that actually sounds pretty cool. Like if I like flub it up a little bit, add a couple devil notes in there, like that's a song right there.
Mm-hmm. So it's a fun tune. I think at the time we wrote these lyrics. I was taking actually a class or two at the community college, and I wrote a lot of them in class. And thankfully, it was English class, so I had an excuse, I guess. But it was an English course of some kind. But yeah, I remember it was a notepad I got, and I just before I walked into class, I listened to the riff he sent me over and over and over, and then I was like, man, I got a couple ideas here. So it's very it's a lot about personal justice, punishment, that kind of stuff. Very gunslinging. Thematically, it's a very I think it's kind of like very 70s grindhouse kind of. It's the kind of movie you think of when you hear the song.
It's actually kind of where we got the idea of going into the whole film noir direction with this next album, was going in there and adding like some like movie trailer-esque overdubs.
Yeah, there's actually one in the beginning of this.
That's so metal.
But no one believes that I did.
I will never believe it. I'll never believe it.
It was me, but you guys can be the judge.
Yeah, I think this song's awesome. So, that sounds like a very metal song, a killer way to end National Metal Day with you guys. So let's rock it out and play Beware the Gun by Aries. Thank you guys once again so much for being on our show. This has been awesome. So we'll see you guys next week on the Will and Thunder Show. Let's take it out.
In a world gone corrupt, in a world gone mad, beware the fury of a patient man.
My brand of
called the Will and Thunder Show? Okay, cool. And it's the Will and Thunder Show. Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Moore, and you are listening to the Will and Thunder Show.